And we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to WrestlePurists Worldwide. I'm your host, Ibu, of WrestlePurists, of Self-Made, of Wrestling Twitter. And I'm joined by a returning Anna, who is back on the podcast. We missed her dearly last week on whatever we whatever we gave you guys on last Monday's show. But she's back and she's ready to carry us and give us astute wrestling analysis and catch up. So she's here to do her thing. And also here to do their thing is Joe Holbert of the esteemed LNG fame. Joe Holbert, a award-winning podcaster. Joe Holbert, an award-winning wrestling content producer, working on a number of projects at the moment that are a bit under wraps. But I'm excited to have Joe here. I'm excited to have Anna, and I'm here with you guys. And we're going to just talk pro wrestling for the next, give or take, hour and 40 minutes or so. It should be fun. It's one of those shows, as usual, in this current era of this regime of the show, where you guys will steer the conversation and you guys will direct the action. We're going to call it in the ring, folks. We're going to talk pro wrestling. It's Double or Nothing week. It's Saturday night's main event week. I got a Raw scoop for you guys, so lock in. If you're just waiting to find out who could possibly return on tonight's show, I got that for you guys. You can stay tuned for that. That's your hook for retention purposes. So we'll talk that. We'll talk Saturday night's main event. We'll talk Double or Nothing. We'll just talk pro wrestling, man. We're hanging out here and we're hanging out with you guys, the beloved WrestlePurist audience. If you haven't liked the video, please like the video. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. And again, your super chats will take us where we're going. So send in the super chats. If you have any questions you'd like to ask us, feel free to ask us those questions. And if you have any takes you want to get off, this is a safe space. I think so, right, Joe? It's a safe space.
Oh yeah, I love it when people send takes, preferably takes that I won't have like a strong opinion on.
Yes,
because then like what will happen is Anna's going to read it.
Yeah,
Eva will respond to it, and I'll just sit here.
Exactly, and that's kind of like what we do. Like Triple H says, what we do. We want you guys to be really passionate about things that we're very indifferent about, right? And just yell about it, maybe curse someone out in the super chat. And when we read it, and then Joe just kind of like, just nods, respectfully, and then we just kind of put on the next super chat. Love you guys, especially love Anna, who's back. Anna, how you doing, man? I feel like we haven't seen you in a bit, even though it's only been 1 week. How's life treating you? How's everything? What's new with you, Anna?
I mean, I'm good. I was traveling, I was enjoying my vacation, and then I just start getting these messages, Ibu just going like, Anna, please come back. We need you. We cannot do the show without you. It's a mess without you. I had to cut my trip short. I had to come back running. It was a whole thing just to be able to be here tonight with you guys. It's what we do, Ibu. It's what we do. I was needed. You guys were in a crisis.
Oh my God, Anna.
I'm back.
Last week's show, we opened up and we were talking about like cereal and breakfast for like 2 minutes. And me and Joe were just kind of looking at each other like, I don't know what's happening right now, And then Joe, 4 minutes in, threw his hands up and was like, how's Raw? Anna, it was Monday afternoon. Raw was like the week before, Like I reviewed the show. And Joe's like, hey, did you see Raw? I'm like, yeah. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, it was last week. We just didn't know what to do. We just didn't know what the fuck to do. We pretended to like give a shit about like the intricacies of how crowds react to wrestling. We got like 5 minutes out of that, and Joe, he's such a pro, so he locks in and he's just like, and that's the thing about crowds, and the momentum and the da 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 da. And I'm like, yeah, that's what wrestling's all about. It was lovely. So, hopefully we can figure something out here. And I have confidence that we'll be able to do so because you're here and you'll be on super chat reading duty. So appreciate that. That'll allow me to half pay attention as I buy things on Amazon. Just kidding. Just kidding. I'll be locked in on your guys' takes and opinions on pro wrestling. And I'm ready to go. Joe, man, talk to me. What's new with you? What's up?
Recovering. Last night was we had a hell of a match last night. Montel WP and I brought it up. 60-minute Broadway. It was actually 3.5 hours long, which
like why?
I don't know. It felt right though when we were doing it. Like it felt sincere and authentic. So my intention is to kind of recover from that tonight. Thankfully, Anna's here to do most of the work, and yeah, it should be fun. It should. I mean, I think I've done a hell of a job with this worldwide thing. I've just changed the entire show in my image, really, haven't I? We went from like
we went from reviewing wrestling shows to kind of just walking out there and like looking at the audience and you know that like modern WWE thing now where like a main event starts and they just kind of like look up at the crowd.
Yeah.
It's very clearly like a please make noise because we're not doing anything for 5 minutes, you know. And the crowd is just like, all right, sure, you know, let's go, Cena, let's go, Randy, whatever. And just kind of look around and roll out of the ring a lot and just roll back in the ring and you know just fuck around. Yeah, that's what we're doing. This is the Bloodline main event era of WrestlePurists Worldwide. That's what this is. You know?
Well, they made a lot of money, those fellas, didn't they?
And that's what it's all about.
So who am I in the Bloodline?
Jay?
Oh, I've got a hell of a run ahead of me, brother. Anna, hear him out on this, Anna. This is, I think, does that mean I'm about to win? What's the equivalent of winning the Rumble in this game? Do you think?
Oh my god, maybe next year. I gotta say, I have a new development in the relationship, my personal relationship with Jey Uso, Joe. So now have you seen the new thing he does to end every promo now, Joe?
No.
Where he says, 4 letters, 1 word. Yay! I like that. I like it. It's hard.
That sounds sick, dude.
It's gas because
you should do that again.
Because here's the thing. I know for a fact he's writing it down like it's a rap verse, right? And when you write, like, I don't know, I'm sure you've never written a rap verse before, Joe, but you have the cadence and the rhythm in your head before you actually have the words. And I know he's writing it down. He's like, 4 letters, 1 word. Yeet. And then he's thinking on what to put before yeet and never figured it out and said, fuck it, I'm gonna just do that on TV. And so now it's just 4 letters, 1 word, yeet. He just does it every week now. And here's the thing, it's kind of fire. I never liked yeet, but now when he says that, I'm like, yeah, man, 4 letters, 1 word. So that's the newest thing. And Joe, you're gonna reach that at some point where you're gonna have a catchphrase on this show. And I'm looking forward to it. I think these are the games we play. Was your Uso Penitentiary? You know, that was.
I need something shorter.
Yeah, exactly.
Does that make me like Solo Sikoa or something? Like, who am I?
No,
am I Sami Zayn?
You're probably Sammy.
Yeah. So then, does that are you pretend you're Roman then, Ebu?
Do I have to be? Who's
He's
Heyman?
Solo.
Yeah, I guess you're Heyman, I guess. Yeah.
Heyman?
No, Monty's definitely Heyman.
Heyman's probably, Monty.
Yeah.
I mean, judging by my pay, I'd probably say so. So, you know.
Oh.
I'm just kidding, everybody. I'm just kidding. I'm treated lovely here, and I love my job. I also love you guys, and I love your opinions, and I love your takes on pro wrestling. And I want to hear some of them. And I'm totally going to listen to them and not drift away and buy some jeans on Amazon. Anna, let's take it away with the first couple super chats and get into this. 4 letters, 1 word.
The Darren Walker, 5 pounds. Thank you, Darren. Ibu, what's your highlight from LFG? And how lucky are those kids getting to learn from Billy Ray?
Isn't it funny now, Joe, that somehow, some way, intentionally or unintentionally now, there's like a 5-minute LFG segment on every Worldwide for some weird reason.
Despicable is what it is. It's despicable. Dude, I saw a clip from that where one of the dudes like, you're the worst coach I've ever. I was just like, God, this is terrible TV, man. This is diabolical. I'm disappointed in all of you that watch it. I am. I'm disappointed. And I watched some terrible shit, but Jesus.
That same episode, in the beginning of the episode, Joe, he gets into an argument with Booker where he says, you know, you're a dick rider. And Booker's just kind of like, what? And this fight about this for 3 minutes. And Booker's like, then I guess I'm a dick rider. I don't know what you want from me. But what's my highlight of LFG? I thought mid-season, the way Taker legitimately took to Evander Holyfield's kid was cute. And Holyfield's mom was there for one of his pre-show matches. And, like, that was really sweet. And she was, like, fucking pinching his cheeks and stuff like he was a fucking 12-year-old. Even though he's, like, a grown man. But that was nice. Beyond that, not much. The wrestling is, like, 1.5-star level for most of the season. There's this one Asian girl who's, like, very attractive, but, like, clearly doesn't have a knack for pro wrestling. And there's this funny thing that they do on the show where she has no knack for it. She was a cosplayer before wrestling. And every match, the coaches have to give feedback. And every week it's the same thing. They do the kind of Dave Meltzer thing where like, you look great out there. You really do. We got to work on the facials and the reaction and the feel and your bumping and your selling and your timing and basically everything else, right? And that's every week's fucking criticism. And then like it just cuts to a confessional after like week 7 where she's just like, I'm just sick and tired of my only praise being that I look good out there. And like she's like a fucking mask.
Come on, man. There wasn't need for any of this, dude. Jesus.
It was just
Out of nowhere.
6 out of
Okay,
10 for the
well.
first season. 6 out of 10 season. I will not be watching the second season.
Sure.
But
Where do you even watch that?
I have it on Hulu, so yeah. Mickey James isn't in season 2, so I'm good. She was a sweetheart.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing analysis. When are we gonna do the LFG watch on LNG?
Never.
Oh my
We're never
god.
gonna do it. We may do Tough Enough because Tough Enough was when
Oh.
it used to be better.
Joe, it's just
Do
funny.
you?
If you were watching at the time, you'd be like, "This is horseshit," you know. But like now,
Yeah, but they were more they were more overt with guys just being bullies back then, you know.
yeah, now it's
Different
like
time.
now it's like subtle bullying, you know.
Yeah.
Was it tough enough when they did like the little NXT like reality show kind of thing that they had Caitlyn? Do you remember Caitlyn?
I remember
that
her. I
was-
don't remember that.
That was like the original NXT. Tough Enough was
The
the show
ori- right?
Maven was.
Oh.
Tough Enough was Maven's vehicle,
Oh,
and it was
okay.
like they all did live in the same house, and Bob Holly used to like mercilessly beat them up and stuff.
Anna,
Oh, yeah.
have you ever seen a clip,
Yes.
Anna, where Anna, do you know who Joe, who was the other Funkadactyl?
Albert.
Who?
Albert Tenzai.
No, the other
Cameron. Cameron.
Right. Okay, Anna, do you remember Cameron, the other black girl that would dance with Naomi?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Have you ever seen a clip where Steve Austin walks up to her and says, "What is your favorite match of all time?" And she says, "Melina versus Alicia Fox."
Yes.
And Austin
Really?
looks like somebody punched him in the stomach. Like he was like, "What? Huh? Like what are you talking about?" And she's like, "Melina versus Alicia Fox."
See, I thought you
Some
were
real
talking about
wrestling.
the original Tough Enough. So I thought you were talking about like because Brodus and Tenzai teamed up. You remember this?
You know what's
so
funny?
the Funkadactyls were with those two, and it was a full group.
Joe, I forgot that. So when you answered me, I thought you were ribbing me.
No, I was like, I assume he was a coach on Tough Enough, you know. Yeah, Tough Enough was a couple of the first seasons are quite entertaining, to be honest. But you know, Taz is on those, and
Hell yeah.
because we're men, you know.
The most remembered thing is when Triple H was like talking to those people and Aura farming and shit. And he's like, take a bump, and he's telling the dude that his nut was hanging out of his fucking
mad
shorts.
because someone has a Bill Goldberg poster and he does a 2-minute promo about how Goldberg's a pussy who doesn't love wrestling.
Yeah. The part where he starts talking about like people get hurt in wrestling, so take this shit serious or get the fuck out of here.
They actually cut that out of the show, the Goldberg thing.
My goodness.
That's a DVD extra. People don't realize that. Triple H legitimately just spoke for 3 minutes about how much he hates Bill Goldberg, and like they cut it out because he looked like such an asshole. And it just turns out that 23 years later he's trying to book him for a main event. So you know,
Joe, do you remember? Go ahead, Anna.
No, I was gonna say that I opened the Wikipedia page for Tough Enough, and I saw here season 2, the winner, Linda Miles, competed as Shaniqua, the dominatrix valet of the Basham brothers.
Oh boy,
you know, I mean, it was a different time.
Great.
That stuff's too. They had a terrible hit rate with winners, like genuinely. It was really bad.
Yeah, I do not recognize a single name.
Joe, you know what's funny about all that is, as a kid,
John
I thought
Morrison.
Maven was good.
Yeah, Maven was okay.
He's fine.
He's just a blank slate of a wrestler because he wasn't a wrestler, innit? Like it's just a terrible way to find wrestlers.
Yeah, he was just like a bald guy with a good physique that just wanted to do his best. And like,
look, I watched a couple. He wasn't trained badly. Like, you can see I think he took to the physicality decently enough, but it's an era where everyone's got a gimmick, and his gimmick is just like, I did Tough Enough. It's just
what makes it funnier, Joe, is from how I remember Maven in real time, he would disappear for months at a time, and then he would be relaunched on TV, like getting pushed.
Yeah.
And you're like, what? And Jim Ross would do his best. I remember, Joe, it was like late 04, and Evolution's a top heel stable. And like the babyfaces need help. And Nor's like, it's Maven! Maven's back! Maven's back to even the odds. And I'm like a fucking kid. And I'm like, yeah, and I'm watching this stuff back, and I'm like, why was Maven like fighting alongside like Edge and shit against Evolution? Like, so I don't know.
Oh wow. I'm seeing here, the only people that I recognize, The Miz and John Morrison came out of Tough Enough.
Yeah.
That is that is insane. I did not know this.
The big LG Doc Gallows tried out for Tough Enough. And he has an infamous tryout. You guys aware of this story?
No.
They were doing the tryouts on, like, I think it was Venice Beach. And Bill DeMott was running the tryouts. And
of course,
the big LG's short. He has a problem with his, you see him wrestle, he always pulls his trousers up, right? He always is hoisting his. And so he kept hoisting his shorts up. And Bill DeMott was like, stop bringing your fucking shorts up, bro. This is a tryout. So he stopped pulling his shorts up, and next thing, the big LG Doc Gallows was completely naked on Venice Beach doing a Tough Enough tryout. And he told this story like 10, 15 years ago, and they played it on, they gave them like a Botchamania show on the network, the Good Brothers.
Oh my
and they
God.
played it on that show. Insane.
Oh my God.
Business, dude. Insane.
It'd be like that.
What if we do an analysis of Diva Search?
No.
I think that would go very poorly. I think
that would go worse than any other thing here, actually.
Yeah, the content of that stuff is like
no.
Diva Search.
No.
I'm seeing the people: Carmella, Candice Michelle, Maria Kanellis, Michelle McCool. They all came from Diva Search.
Yeah,
it's a lot of lovely
not
ladies.
The
people,
Bella
it's
Twins.
It's just the stuff they have them do is
Yeah.
It to be honest, it actually might be the worst thing. And this covers a lot of ground, It might be the worst.
I don't know, man. I mean, we watched Judgment Day 04, and like every match is laced in some sort of like deeply offensive theme. It's a shame, dude. I used to think it was very wholesome before TKO ruined everything, but apparently it was bad before. Sad.
Here's the thing.
It says.
This is gonna sound controversial.
Oh no! What about Vince?
You like
bro?
Diva
Come on,
Search.
get it off
No,
your chest.
come on. He said, what about? I was gonna say there's a percentage threshold of acceptable problematicness in wrestling, in my opinion, because wrestling is inherently trashy. But then when you go over the line, it's like, come on, guys, And
it's one. I mean, it's an interesting topic. You can't really bring justice to the heels, can you? Because they just keep wrestling, don't they? It's like.
Right,
Eddie Guerrero he wasn't gonna like shoot JBL, was he? So at some point he's just a racist guy who wrestles on the telly, and at some point it's sort of.
With that said, though, I kind of like racist JBL, unfortunately, in the sense that I remember being a kid though, and I was a broke minority, right? And I could not watch Raw because I didn't have cable at points, but I could watch SmackDown because it was for free, and I turned on SmackDown, and there's a lot of Latinos and Black people on the show, right? And to me as a kid, Joe, you know what JBL was? He was the racist landlord. That's what JBL was to me as I was watching, right? And I saw JBLs in my daily life. And so when I saw JBL on the show, I remember being like, man, I don't even care about John Cena that much, but I would love to see him punch him in the face. Have you ever seen the segment, Joe, where Cena can't touch JBL? He can't touch him, right?
It's really good.
Yeah, and JBL gets in his face, and he just like starts dissing his mom, and he was just talking about like I know, like he was like insinuating the things his mother was doing to get money, and he was like, yeah, your mom got that shit on her back, and he's just talking crazy about her, like insinuating that she did prostitution and shit, and Cena's just fucking shaking in there, and I remember watching that live, and I'm like, oh my god, shoot this nigga, like somebody kill him, please.
But do you not think that's proof that he could do like other stuff? Like to me, the best angle with Eddie is the one with Eddie's mom. Because what makes that a great angle is he doesn't hit her. He goes close to her. She has a heart attack, and he refuses to like break. He's just like,
Eddie
ain't my problem, bro.
Eddie is so good because from what and I have never rewatched any of this. When I remember, she had a heart attack, and like Eddie's in the backstage segment shaking, and he's just kind of like, oh my god, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. He wanted to just get him. Yeah. Yeah,
like I think JBL could get actual heat without,
just being
racist.
I will say, and I won't go fully into this conversation because you have the super chats, but there have been heel wrestlers, Joe, modern heel wrestlers that have contacted me over the last few months from both promotions that have said to me, and this is not my opinion, this is just them expressing this to me. They're like, why is it that in every other entertainment medium, are fans mature enough to accept that a fictional bad person can do bad things and say bad things, and it's fiction, but in wrestling it can't happen? And we had an interesting conversation about it, and I was kind of in the middle because I do think wrestling fans, unfortunately, just aren't like. I feel like wrestling fans can't handle it, you know. Like,
It's not just MJF trying to get the N-word pass. Is that what he's trying to do?
Come on.
Look,
Ibu, can I say it or not? You know, it's like, no.
So moving on, I think I do think it's interesting, but I do think it goes back to what I mentioned a minute ago, dude. Like, if there's a racist villain in a movie, he's going to get a very different level of justice more times than not than what a wrestler is, which is like just getting rolled up on a finish, you know? Like
they get pinned, yeah.
Now I do think sometimes fans can have a little bit more. I don't want to police people's feelings. Like sometimes people get really offended by stuff, and I kind of think it's just wrestling. Sometimes, you know, when stuff's just like half implied. But people can feel like that one. I also hate being that guy who's like fucking, you know, like a police officer. Like, yeah, I do think there's something to be said for going, it's just fake, you know. But I also think wrestling is a unique beast, and the lines are blurred, and they're kind of the real people. It's a very strange. I mean, it's an interesting conversation. Probably not the best one right now because we just, you know, set up with what we set up with. But
I think, like, so here's an example. I would not have told the story that Booker T and Triple H told. I just wouldn't, right?
Right.
Because why? You know what I mean? But the idea of someone calling into question for Booker T, just his inadequacy as a performer, his past, his questionable past, and this and that. You could tell a redemption story where the actual story they're telling here is, no, a black man is worthy of being a world champion. A black man can be this and that. He can blah, blah, blah. The problem is he fucking lost. You know, the racist guy was proven right. You know what I'm saying? And like there's no it's just like, yeah.
It is interesting. I think there's something to be said for like using the medium to kind of confront those things, and especially because there's kids watching, like if it's just a heel being kind of a bully and it's not like, again, overt racism or whatever, and it's just like a heel being a bully and getting their comeuppance, like that's wrestling 101. And maybe you can get a little edgy with it, but I think you have to be careful. It's just,
of course, Max
is an interesting example because I think there's times where Max gets it completely spot on, and I think there's times where he does, like, he probably gets a little cheaper than he needs to, right? I remember the Takeshita one.
Yeah,
one thing, like, I just don't have any. I think he could have done better than that, you know. But it's an interesting thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also feel like nowadays, if you do a character that is a bit more like that, there is the risk of people agreeing with them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like it would backfire.
A decent example is Grande Americano's whole thing is that it's meant to be a caricature of just a dumb person that like doesn't respect Lucha Libre, right? And because it's the WWE audience, Joe, there are now shows on Raw, Joe, where Grande comes out and the crowd is like so excited to see him, and they're like, "Hell yeah, man, get him, Grande!" And it's like, and it's hard to tell if it's just the wrestling irony thing of they just like the ironic gimmick, which does happen, or B, they just go, "Yeah, man, fuck Lucha." You know what I'm saying?
No, I actually don't, because I experienced it in Vegas.
Okay.
I actually think it is that they think it's just like funny or cute.
Right.
I don't think though. I'm not even trying to be a prick. Like, I don't think those fans have an opinion on Lucha Libre. Like, yeah.
Their Lucha Libre is like Rey Mysterio, and that's it.
Right.
Did you see what they trademarked, Joe?
No.
WWE trademarked King of the Luchadors, and I don't know if that's a tournament or what.
Right.
But let's be honest here.
If that is a tournament, oh god.
Yeah. I'm not selling for any of this because I just let's just see what it looks like, you know. I just can't, like I've seen like 10 AAA matches in the last 5 years, and all of like 90% of them were terrible. So I'm just like, I also get the feeling it's going to be an experiment that blows up in their face. So I kind of just my mode is like just wait and see because
Of course.
I've got a feeling they're going to dip their toe in these waters and go, what a great big waste of time and money this is going to be. You know, I just yeah, that's my honest feeling. I can't imagine them seeing the landscape and thinking, yeah, this is worth looking at. I think it's some bonkers purchase. I really do. We've talked about this elsewhere, so I apologize for going in circles, but I just don't. I can't wrap my head around it.
Yeah, and they're gonna give it the college try, and they're gonna try to get some of the CMLL dudes to like switch sides and see what happens. But your skepticism is very fair in terms of like what's the actual like viability of doing this. You know what I mean? Like, what do you actually gain from it? So we shall see. Time will tell. And thank you to whoever that was that sent the previous super chat that we may have half answered.
Darren Walker, I think.
Thank you, Darren. We love you.
199. Ibu still betting on Darby versus Mox in October.
Yes.
What did we do to deserve this? Darren Walker, £5.
You'll live, Anna. You'll be all right. You'll be fine.
Yeah. Sure. Did anyone see new entrance of Megan Bain? It looks fantastic. Set underneath something like this too. Any other AEW stars in the superstar entrance?
All the ones that are stars?
Yeah.
No, I don't want any more of them. I've had enough of it. Every wrestler has a movie entrance now, dude. It's just some guy should just walk to the ring, man. Enough. Like I went to the NXT show in Vegas. Every wrestler has their own like thing. It's just
Joe, they do like a pseudo dance on the stage, you know?
Just walk to the ring, man. Work for Steve Austin. You know?
You know what's funny about this, Joe? And I swear this isn't propaganda. But in Punk's last interview, they asked him about like, hey man, you're gonna have like a lot of Pyro Mania. And he randomly just goes like, fuck Pyro, man. And it's just like they're like, what do you mean? He's like, just play my music, man. You know, like let me just walk out.
Like, obviously, I'm being silly, but there are some wrestlers who should have big entrances as part of their presentation. Megan Bain, I get it completely. That's someone I would get, but like, I don't need Will Ospreay. Like his entrances, they chant Ospreay, and he goes to all four corners. Like that's what he does. You know what I'm saying? That's what he needs. That's it. It's not. I just think sometimes it's like a hat on a hat in it. Sometimes it's like most top stars don't need theatrical entries. They can just walk out and it looks cool.
Joe, you know that thing Miz does where he spins and points on the stage?
Perfect example, yeah. Like what
he like spins.
And I know their mentality is like you need to have stuff that people want to copy, right, and impersonate. Which I get, I understand. I just think if everyone has one, then no one does, right? It's just like
yeah, no, I agree. I actually I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying.
I think they should just be like saved for special occasions, you know. If it's like every pay-per-view you have like an entrance that is bigger than the other, and it's like then that's too much. And like with us, for example, I feel like every pay-per-view he feels like he has to outdo the entrance, and sometimes it's like a random match. It's not even like it's just a match, and then he has like a fucking like techno breakdown in the middle of the song, or he has like a movie trailer, and it's like okay, you know, like slow down. You're walking into like a single match.
And I think Will gets very cute, but I will say I do like it's very prize fight when they do like a video into the entrance and then the wrestler can just do their normal entrance. So you remember Brian at Wembley, and we were both there.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
They played an awesome video that like it sets the stage for the people and it kind of gets them ready, and then boom, when the music hits, the pop is even bigger. You'll see that a lot for big, like when we have big prize fights here, especially, you'll see that like even Anthony Joshua fights. There'll be this epic video for 30 seconds, 45 seconds, and then boom, his music hits. I think Sting, they did that, right? Yeah. Like that I think is kind of cooler than faking it. Yeah, I think that's cooler than having like extended choreography for the wrestler. So
my actual least favorite thing is when they have a fucking like Gundam robot on top of their body, like for their entrance gear or some shit. Like it rarely looks good. Triple H did the Terminator one that looked really bad at WrestleMania one year, but I have a new hot take about entrances, Joe. I just thought about this.
Okay.
It's not necessarily about entrances, but people do them during their entrances. A lot of wrestlers' finger symbols are very bad. I just thought about this right now. Have you noticed like a lot of wrestlers have like just finger things they do with their like some symbol or some shit?
Yeah.
Most of them, like that sucks, Anna. Like that fucking sucks.
It's the crown. What do you mean?
Oh, it does look like
United Empire.
See,
It
okay,
is the
it
crown.
does look like a crown, but when they don't put it on their head, like hold it higher, it just looks ass. Yeah, like what are you doing? You know what I mean?
What's the
Like,
worst one in wrestling, you reckon?
okay, all right. So when John Cena switched from the word life one to just the three fingers, I remember being really mad at the time. I was like, "What the fuck is that?" You know what I'm talking about? Because he used to do thumb and pinky. He used to do thumb and pinky,
Yeah.
and then he comes back at Survivor Series '08, and out of nowhere he's just putting three fingers up, and I was like, "What is that? Like, what the fuck is that? That sucks." Matt Hardy's thing took me 5 years to figure out. I'm like, is it your middle
The
finger
delete?
and your thumb? Huh? No, you know that shit he would throw up. It's like
Yeah.
it would have like three fingers. That looked ass. Now Jeff Hardy would mix it. He would have that mat thing on one hand and then the gun finger with the other hand. You know what I'm talking about? And then he would point it towards his mouth.
Yeah.
Like you know the thing he does where it's like the index finger and the middle finger are connected and the thumb is out. Like the thing he does when he does the fucking dance, right?
Yeah.
So he'll have that on one hand, and on the other hand, he's doing the mat hand thing where it's like your
Wait, explain that again. How is that?
All right, and you're gonna do this right now. Ready? You know the Jeff Hardy symbol on the hand?
Tell me.
Okay, index finger and middle finger are connected.
This.
Yeah, do a finger gun, Anna. All right, but with your middle finger connected to your index finger. There you go. That's Jeff Hardy's. There we go. Now with the other hand, close your thumb and your ring finger. Yeah, that's Matt Hart. Yes. Now turn both your hands around. See, that's Jeff Hardy's. There we go. That was Jeff Hardy's shit in like 07. That was kind of hard. I don't know what it was tough. Yeah. That was the greatest thing we've ever done. The fact that it actually worked.
It's so much funny. You not being on camera makes that such a harder game to play.
Yes. I'm like gesturing at my screen. I'm like, yes, there you go. Turn it around.
And you get instructions over the phone, you know? Like hit the button at the back, you're going, oh shit, man.
Like I'm teaching how to do the Macarena or some shit, you know? Like Rock would just put a fist up, you know? Austin would do a middle finger. This dude started fucking making gang signs and shit, you know?
LA Knight has a funny one, doesn't he? Does he have a funny one?
He hasn't. Hold on. We're about to have a guest here. Oh my God. Oh, Jesus Lord. What's LA Knight's, Joe? I don't remember this.
I'm not sure. Obviously, he has this thing he does. The boom boom.
That's
Kobe
really
Kingston. He throws something up his hands when he gets there.
Yes, it's another just weird double-handed gang sign. You know, like
yeah. The show is about to take a hilarious turn.
It's about Joe. Do you have a guess?
I have a good feeling where this is going, and as soon as the words came out of one of my cohorts' mouths, I thought this is going to be interesting tonight. We'll see how this goes.
I have no idea what's going on.
Right.
You know what? I'm not going to give Anna a heads up.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's go to the next super chat. Go for it.
Okay, Ibu Mania 14 $4.99. Mariah is not going to be a double or nothing. I see Tekla debuting after Tony versus Mina. Attacks Mina. What are your thoughts, Boo Breaker?
Boo Breaker? What the fuck? It's not going to be a double or nothing. I see Tekla. Yeah, I could absolutely see that. In case you missed it, Anna, Mina's back, and she's coming for Tony Storm. Tony Khan changed her theme song, and now it's changed back to that song that sounds like that one famous Spanish song that everybody loves and dances to at parties and quinceañeras. So, there you go.
Okay. SR5 Canadian, thank you. We will be there for the crash out tonight with Maria who wins it. It comes with a Mummy in the Bank. Who is she up against?
Okay, so let me get this up. They're doing 2 Money in the Bank qualifiers tonight, folks, on Monday Night Raw. The very first one, let's pull this up, is Rhea Ripley versus who is this? Rhea Ripley versus versus Zoe Stark versus Kairi Sane. So
Well, she's clearly winning.
Well, I'm sorry, but like,
Why would there be a kick out?
there's no way Stark is supposed to win. Like, come
well,
on.
Joe, Twitter's preparing for Kyrie to go over right now. That's what they've told themselves, is that Kyrie's going to win this match. The other qualifier is, the other qualifier is Natty versus Becky Lynch versus Roxanne Perez, which should be a fun.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that's going to be a good match. Yeah, looking forward to that one. I'm gonna go on the lip and say Roxanne wins this one, and I think Rhea wins the other one. So 2 qualifiers. Twitter will crash out because for whatever reason, like Rhea Ripley's not allowed to like be presented like a star on Twitter, you know. So
yeah, I mean, I did in between because someone in the chat for my show told me like Kyrie, and I didn't realize they'd like posted a video of her just at the TV, which did pop me. They didn't like bring her back in an angle. They just went, "She's here."
Yeah, she just like walked out looking majestic, and people were like, "Oh yeah, Kyrie's back."
Yeah.
There you go.
She didn't walk out. She walked into the building.
Yeah. It's just a video of her walking in the building, looking like fucking just like Janet Jackson, just like walking in, and people were just like, "Oh my god, it's Kyrie." So, yeah, I'm a fan of Kyrie. I didn't like her when she was in NXT hilariously at the time, but I like Kyrie now.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, I was in a weird place in my life.
She just needs to lock in, you know, like.
Mm-hmm.
She's been doing like the Okada thing, just like cruising. I need her to lock in.
Yeah.
See where Io's at and like try to go there.
You know what I think it is, Anna? I think when you pull up and you're just chilling with your friends and traveling with like 4 other girls, it's kind of just, you know, it's just you're just chilling. You know what I mean? Like, and I hate to say it this way, but I think it's sobering like when someone gets fired from your squad, you know, and you're like, oh shit. You know? Yeah, but we'll see. She got better when she turned babyface. When she came back and was doing heel tag, she was really bad, to be honest with you.
Yeah, she looked really very confused.
She was phoning
like she just didn't know.
She did. She would like get lost in matches. It was weird, dude.
Yeah, Joe, do you remember we would literally say, "I think Kyrie's drunk"? Like, what's happening?
Yeah, it was really strange. Really strange. She's looking back. Maybe she could come back as like a power wrestler. You never know, right?
Oh my god, she's been boxing a lot lately, Joe. I don't know if you've seen the videos. It's
shit, she just come as a shooter.
Joe, you haven't seen the video?
No, I need to see this.
She'll be with gloves, just bop, 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 bop. I'm like, what the fuck? Why is Kyrie boxing?
That should be a gimmick, bro. She'd be like Mark Mero. They should say that in her time away, she's become like a Golden Gloves champion or something. You know?
See, they get those like Triple H ass,
right?
Like
the pirate pugilist, Kyrie Sane. Fucking put on a t-shirt, folks. We're coming for the belt.
Pugilist?
Pugilist.
Pugilist, yeah. Like
brawl for all.
What does that?
Kyrie Sane.
It's like a box, a boxer. Would have popped someone out there in TV land.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Not Josh Tafe 499. Thank you. Congratulations to the New York Knicks. Well deserved. Got them versus OKC in the finals. Okay.
I'm very proud of this team. Last time Anna was here, I literally said that I didn't think they were going to beat the Celtics, and they beat the Celtics. So lovely.
I remember, and you know what? I also remember, Ibu. Last year, when I started getting into NBA, and you told me that I should root for the Knicks, and everyone cooked you on the timeline.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, "Why are you telling her to root for the Knicks? She's gonna be depressed. They're always gonna lose." Who's laughing now? You know.
And you know what it is, Anna? I think 2 things. People root for my misery, unfortunately, including my close friends, which is not great. But also, people have an inferiority complex with New York. Legitimately, people are jealous of New York, and they resent it. But this is the greatest city in the world, and the Knicks are awesome, and they're a historic franchise, and we're going to the conference finals. And I believe in this team. So don't jump on the bandwagon now, folks, if you're trying to. Anna's allowed because I extended the invitation last year. So she can. The rest of you guys know you cannot.
In the world is a bit of a stretch, but sure.
Best city in the world.
Riley Walker, $2. Thank you. Joe, what I like the video. What should I do?
So apparently there's two like buttons you can click. There's a thumbs up and a thumbs down.
Okay.
I get paid on super chat revenue here. So if you're not happy with the way that Ibu talks about the Knicks, or you feel like he could have gave better instructions on how to do the Matt Hardy gang sign, or you didn't like me using the word pugilist on a wrestling podcast, you could hit the thumbs down. But I would recommend you consider the the dynamic conversation about the right way to be a heel in wrestling, which I think was last night, but still showing a lot of chest. I think you should hit the thumbs up, the like button, if you will. You should click it, but don't click it more than. If you're going to click more than once, you have to hit 3 times. Just be odd numbers. Bob's taught us this on LNG. Otherwise, there's no like to be done. Very unfortunate.
I used to show chest at work, not intentionally, kind of my style. And I stopped when one of my coworkers, he's like a woman in her 40s. She said something to me that I don't know if it was intentional. It felt really emasculating. I got to be honest with you. She was just like, "Oh, there's Evil with his little taco meat," and I was like, "Are you?"
Oh, bro, you got to just leave, and you can't ever come back.
I was like, are you calling me a bitch? Like, are you calling me? Like, are you just?
She just went, "There's Evil, that great big fucking pussy." That's what she said, basically.
You're a weak man with your small pectoral muscles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's.
Little taco meat.
Your little taco meat is crazy. You know what I mean? And then I walked, and like 2 days later, like she got a little buddy in it because all the people in the front end of my job are like just women in their mom age, and like, oh no, there's Ibrahim with his little taco meat. You see it, and I'm like, what's going on here?
Did you get on the gas?
So I hit the weights harder. You know what I mean? Did what I had to do, but I covered up after that because fuck that, Fuck that. There's another coworker who calls me chest. That's also, I don't know about that one, but that's better than taco meat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nah, now I wear sweater. Now I'm a sweater guy at work. I'm a sweater guy at work now.
Amazing information. Ryan Cecchini, 699 Canadian. Tiffy heard Giulia was going to SmackDown and pulled up her friend's mixtape, Deadly Dropkick. Giulia on SmackDown. God bless her.
Yeah. She was doing pretty well on Raw, tagging with Roxanne, having good matches, and they moved her over. Now she's on SmackDown, Anna. They had her standing across from Charlotte and Alexa Bliss. She's in a division that includes notable talent like Candice LeRae and Zelina Vega and Chelsea Green.
Come on.
And Alba Fire and Piper Niven.
Well, hold on.
Tiffany Stratton.
Stratton.
Charlotte Flair.
Dude,
Bliss.
are you aware that when Giulia made her professional debut, Alexa Bliss was the world champion? Someone told me that, and I couldn't, because I forget Giulia's not like been in the business that long, relatively speaking.
Yeah, she started kind of like late for Joshi's,
Yeah, like 2017. I think it was like late 2017. Yeah.
When I first found out who Giulia was, she was bald and she like wore like dog tags and shit.
Yeah.
Really
Have you ever seen the hair versus hair match with Tam?
Yeah, I actually have.
What year was that, Anna?
2019, right?
Yeah, I think we were in 2019.
I wouldn't have seen it.
Wait, I'm gonna check like the exact show.
I reviewed a lot of Giulia matches when I was doing like the match guide and stuff.
When I found out about Giulia, I remember Hana Kimura was very active at the time.
Yeah.
I was watching both of them, I remember.
No, it wasn't that long ago, no.
Was it 2020?
2019, what? Yeah, 2019, I don't even know if she was Stardom yet.
Really?
Let's see.
Tiffany Stratton.
Stratton.
Oh. I still haven't figured out the Suri mixtape part of this, but
it's fine.
What happened?
2021.
Really?
See, I might have seen it. That was when I was in the Fightful territory.
Right. Yeah, no, the Suri. I think the Suri thing Anna's talking about is, didn't she like retweet that or something?
Oh,
like that.
Okay.
Shout out to Giulia. I thought her match with Jordan Grace was her best wrestling match since pre-Marigold, to be completely honest with you. She will never have a match like that ever again. But God bless. I actually have some.
When they put her against Io, you'll see.
We'll see. I have some minor news on that since time has passed. So NXT officials were not prepared for the level of physicality in that match, nor were they thrilled about it. The ladies kind of just went and did their thing, and respect. And Sean didn't expect some of the moves that ended up happening in that match. Kind of blindsided by it, but hey man, at the end of the day, it didn't affect anybody. Giulia is on SmackDown, and Jordynne Grace is going to main event NXT Battleground. So shout out to both women who I think are ultra talented. And I think when they get to work the style that they're most comfortable in, you see why they're very much highly rated and coveted and spoken of. So sometimes life is about letting people play the music their way, in my opinion.
Ish 1999. Thank you so much. Not gonna like that Rider news. Mox Reign being extended. The Paragon news. Is Rush getting a push? Bandito. Why they giving her syndicate booty opponents on pay-per-view? El Grande Americano news. Carlito getting a push. Thanks, Boo Boo. So many
Guys,
requests.
look, I know you guys don't like Dustin Rhodes, but you gotta let me have something on this. This it means a lot to me, guys. I want to see the Sons of Texas versus the damn Syndicate. I'm sorry, guys. I apologize. I understand your frustration, but I want to see it. I'm sorry.
It's
Dustin Rhodes, Ebu.
I just
Americana, brother. 91, Steamboat, The Enforcers.
Yeah.
EC008.
Look, Shelton beating up on Dustin will be cool.
It's beautiful. It's like being back on Sci-Fi in the late 2000s.
It's going to be another Hurt Syndicate 2 3/4 on pay-per-view. But
it's important for the business to have those matches.
Yeah. I think AEW pay-per-views have been more manly since they've had 2 3/4 undercard.
We're in opposition to the accumulated star rating era. We've moved on.
I feel when AEW had 15 matches on pay-per-view and everything was at like 3.5 or higher, it was very unmasculine, It just was.
You can't take DM bits to the air like that, dude. It's bad.
Listen, man. Look, wrestling is about having 8 to 10 matches, and 3 to 4 of them have to be mid. They just do. That's wrestling. You need some mid matches so that when Ospreay comes out and does what he does, and has a fight to the death with upper mid carder number 17, that it stands out. That's what this is about.
I have to apologize to Ish because he has many questions here, so take those away.
Oh, you mean literally the answer? I thought you meant getting off my screen.
No. Not like a dish at the restaurant. I meant there were questions for you. I assume they're for you. I don't think Anna's supposed to answer these.
All right, let's see. Death Rider
news.
Okay, Gabe Kidd has joined the Death Riders. For
what happened? What happened?
Arena.
I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. I was out of the internet for a week. I was traveling. I opened Twitter. I see a photo of Gabe Kidd, who I think is still in New Japan at this point, with the hashtag Death Riders.
Yeah. Machine Gun run him out of the territory, dude. Sad. Just didn't want it bad enough.
What happened? First of all, why would he leave New Japan? It's did he leave? Is he just
there
for No. He's not an AEW wrestler.
I'm like, okay.
He's popping in.
But why would he join the Death Riders?
Well, that hasn't been explained yet. But what I could say is they have set up a thing where there clearly appears to be a working agreement between the Young Bucks and the Death Riders, which is why they're affiliated with each other. Clearly, the Bucks didn't want to be in the crosshairs of these guys. Gabe Kidd coming into the phrase again. It was a random reveal in the main event of last week's TV, Anna, and I presume this week. I presume Gabe will get some mic time since it's still best of the Super Juniors, and he'll explain why he's working with the Death Riders.
He's a madman,
He is a madman, So
Are they going to try to do a rematch for Gabe and Kenny then?
I'll tell you what, they're going to be in opposition on this Anarchy and Arena match, and that'll be fun to see. And Willow giving men power bombs will be really cool.
I would recommend have them reunite in Anarchy in the Arena and do not do a straight rematch. I think that's the kind of match you should leave alone for a bit. That match was incredible.
Kenny and Gabe, no, they should never do it again.
Yeah, I would not.
Yeah.
I would not tempt fate with that rematch, if I'm being honest. But
I think that maybe be Forbidden Door plan, though.
Yeah, maybe. That's fine. I mean, I understand why you do it in London. I just
doing it in UK would have a fun vibe, like the crowd, but
people want to cheer Kenny. That's it's not not going to be,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'll tell you what though, the worst thing would be, Joe, if they announced like Kenny Gabe 2 on like a New Japan Strong show.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
wouldn't be great. So that's the deal with the Death Riders, Anna. Kids working with them. Mox reign being extended. It's not getting extended. It's ending on the show where it was always planned to end. Paragon news. I'm working on figuring out what's going on with Adam Cole.
Yeah, I hope he's okay. I hope he's healthy.
Yeah, I'm working on the details on that.
Who's Paragon? Who's in the Paragon?
It's the Undisputed Era.
It's the Undisputed Era, and they're now called yes, they're now called the Paragon. Is Roosh getting a push? Roosh is yeah, right. Bandito is a guy that continues to exist and wrestle sometimes on the show. Why are they giving Hurt Syndicate booty opponents on pay-per-view? That's not a question for me. Grande Americano news. He's going to wrestle on the Worlds Collide show. Carlito getting a push. No.
We're not that lucky. Fuck.
So there you go. And other things you've missed in pro wrestling. Jamie Hayter has... What the hell? Oh, shit. Sorry, I'm getting... Jesus Christ. But anyway, no, I got a funny message from
Jesus,
the same individual that has this link. But,
oh no, we're in danger. Start looking out my window in fear.
I don't know what's going on. I just have a question. Who's in the Anarchy in the Arena so far? What is the build for that? Guys, I've been extremely offline.
What's the build for it? So it's Buck
Yeah,
Hunt.
no, who's there?
Swerve, Hobbs, Shibata, Joe, Willow. How many people is that? Is that 5? I'm missing somebody. Who's coming
Swerve, Hobbs, Joe, Willow. I forgot.
Kenny's on this team.
Kenny? Ooh,
yeah.
I'm in. Will's not there. He has the Owen.
I don't think Hook and Shibata are going to be in this.
Yes,
I think it's Kenny, Swerve, Joe, Hobbs, and Willow. I think will be the actual team. I think. I could be wrong. I don't know.
And for Death Riders, Mox, Pac, Claudio, Marina, and Gabe.
Pac is hurt.
Yes, Pac is injured.
Young Bucks are on it.
Yes.
Young Bucks, Mox, Gabe, and Marina?
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
I don't know about Claudio and Yuta. I have no idea.
Oh, yeah, Yuta. Forgot about him.
Yeah, I have no idea if they're in. If they're in, then Shibata and Hook will be in, I assume.
Well.
Okay. All right. So anyway, thank you for the super chat. We're going to move on here because there's things going on in Gorilla and it's getting very out of hand here. Anna and I are trying our best. Montel, you can move to the next super chat. We'll try our best.
I'm completely in the dark. A Vernacular 499 went and watched the Onita Dark Side of the Ring after seeing Onita Funk in SM. Jesus, what a story. Modern wrestling sucks. New Final Destination, good.
I've heard it's good. Have you heard that, Anna?
Yeah, and I was rewatching the first one like a few weeks ago, and I was like, I didn't finish it, so I didn't put it on my letterbox. If you guys follow the letterbox, but I do need to finish because I only watched Final Destination when I was like a kid, when I was younger, so I didn't remember the movies at all. They still hit. They're still good.
Wonderful stuff. That's a good episode of Dark Side, most certainly. Very good.
I'll say this on Onita. So I watched the main event, Joe, of the FMW 7th anniversary show in Selfmade. And this was, I want to say the spring of 1996. And now we're 1 year into Hayabusa being the anointed new ace of the promotion. Atsushi Onita, who founded the company and was the top guy, had officially put over Hayabusa in 95 and given him the reins. And he's gone and he's retired. And on this show, Joe, in the 7th anniversary show, it's Hayabusa's first main event now in this post-Onita era. And Onita was the big draw. How are you going to sell tickets for a show without him? Get Terry Funk. Always works in Japan. Worked this time, right? And so this main event was Terry Funk and Mr. Pogo versus Hayabusa and a young Masato Tanaka. And the deal here is Terry Funk is working heel. He's the heel invader. And he cut a promo, Joe, in English that was really funny because he basically was like, I don't hate you Japanese fans. I like you guys, but that chicken son of a bitch, Hayabusa, he's not ready, and he's a da-da-da, and Onita's a copycat, and fuck these guys, and fuck FMW. I don't have a problem with you guys. Like, he made it clear like 3 times in a promo. Like, I love the Japanese people, which is fascinating. This is an interesting strategy. But nevertheless, this is a main event show. This is the main event of the show. And my God, the stipulation on this, I'm going to get it for you right now because I really want to talk about this. The main event was 1 million yen, no ropes, exploding barbed wire, double hell, exploding deathmatch. 1 million yen, no ropes, exploding barbed wire, double hell, exploding deathmatch. And money is on the line. The promotion's money is on the line, Joe. The promotion's own money is on the line here. And Onita, the retired wrestler, is in the crowd watching this. Just an onlooker, has nothing to do with the promotion financially at this point, just watching. And the ropes explode if you go on the ropes. And there's like these barbed wire boards on the outside, Joe, that if you fall on it, it literally like detonates a landmine. So Mr. Pogo is this guy who is going full Abdullah the Butcher, and he has a legitimate like machete. And he's just like slicing Masato Tanaka's body, like legitimately just cutting him. It was like a really gruesome scene. And so Tanaka's getting cut. Hayabusa's diving to the outside over landmines, which is fucking epic. Terry Funk is just pile driving people onto chairs. Things are exploding. At some point, people are getting hit with fireballs. And the ending scene of this is Hayabusa, who's the last man standing on the babyface team, fighting both heels. And he gets hit with a double fireball from both heels. And he loses. He fails. Unlike Onita, who tends to beat the bad guy at the end of these shows. In Hayabusa's first main event as the ace in the anniversary show, he loses. And in the post-match, Hayabusa is stretchered out. Onita gets up out of his seat to check on his protege. And oh my God, is that who I think it is?
Is this thing on?
It is on.
All right, great.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. I don't give a fuck about Onita. No one ever did. That guy was a fat, like, hardcore wrestler who only was an inspiration to wrestlers that are fucking garbage. Anyway, I'm MJF. Let's talk about real wrestling. I'm joining the Hurt Syndicate officially this Wednesday, 8 p.m. sharp, TBS. Watch it. How you guys? Tell you what. No. I'm talking. You can talk when spoken to. I'm gonna let you ask me. Shut up. I'm gonna let you ask me 3 questions. Make them good. And if I don't like the question, I'm gonna refuse to answer it. Go.
Okay.
Love opportunity here, Ibu. Don't fuck this up.
So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna have each, since it's 3 questions, we have 3 people on the air. Each of us are gonna give Max a question, and then you know what? I'm gonna turn it to Anna first. Anna, do you have a question?
I have one request.
Yeah.
Personally, when I listen to this show, I feel that you guys say a lot of insensitive things, and I find it very offensive. And I would appreciate if these questions were in good taste. That's all that I ask. I know that that's not going to be an issue for Anna. I know it's not going to be an issue for Joe. I have a feeling I know who's going to cause an issue. But
am I insensitive, Max?
Listen, you just said it. I didn't say it. You just said it. Anna, sweetheart, ask away.
Yes. I have one question, but it's very bad.
I will literally leave the chat before you ask the question if it's a dumb question.
That's a lot of pressure.
That's a lot of pressure. Ibu, you go first.
All right, I get Ibu's going. All right. I'm going to leave soon. I'm just trying to plug one of the greatest moments in television history. MJF is signing on to the Hurt Syndicate. Go.
So, Max, you tried to bribe Shelton Benjamin a couple weeks ago with like a cavalcade of beautiful women.
Tried or succeeded?
I mean, it looked like it worked, right?
Listening.
How did you go about? How would I word this? Where do they come from?
How did you go about selecting the women?
It's not that difficult. I don't understand why people are so insensitive to sex workers. This is their job. They're very good at it. And I think it's weird that people decided to make sex work some weird, gross thing. I think it's more misogynistic and anti-feminist, to be honest, Ibu, that I saw so many people assuming that these women were doing this against their will. I am a man who was raised in a house filled with women. Now, they were all fucking annoying and I hate their guts, but I was raised around them.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, was that your question?
Yeah, where did they come from? Did you go
I
on
think
back?
I just answered it, did I not? All right, Joe, you're up next. That was a fucking waste of everybody's time.
Okay, this is a big one. If you don't want to answer this, I get it, because this is a personal thing. Considering the size of the guys you're now standing alongside, have you invested in new lifts for Wednesday?
Okay, that's a ridiculous sentiment. I'm one of the tallest guys on the roster, which is a well-known fact. Somebody went on my Wikipedia page. It used to be accurately put at 6 foot. And now all of a sudden I'm seeing 5'8", I'm seeing 5'9".
Oh, you're taller than that.
This is not accurate. This is not accurate. I'm 6 foot on the nose, jacked, out of my mind.
Max, I've been at a lot of AEW shows.
Ibu, you had your chance. You blew it.
This isn't a question. I'm offering a comment. What the fuck?
Anna, for the love of God, I've now been asked 2 questions, both of them fucking horrible. Right now, the only reason I'm even talking to you, Anna, no offense, is because I am plugging the fact that I'm going to get to be a part of the greatest faction of all time once I am in it, a part of the 4-headed dragon that will be MVP, MJF, Shelton Benjamin, and Bob.
I can't wait till they kick this dude's ass.
This is your opportunity. This is your big moment, Anna. Here we go.
Do you think you're going to get the pass after you join the Hurt Syndicate?
Like the pass to join the group? Absolutely. That's how the contract works. Anyway, guys, I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, good call.
He's a real prick, Just a real.
I had to. I'm so sorry. I didn't know what to say.
He's an absolute asshole. I honestly can't wait, Joe, to fire up Dynamite on Wednesday and watch these guys kick the shit out of him.
Max, I'm so sorry.
I really hope that's what happens. I hope Bobby just fucking spine busters him through a table. What a fucking prick.
Yeah.
Oh, that was glorious. What a great sport.
But what
guy,
I did actually have Ish said that MJF are the best wrestler of all time. He's gone. Maybe he can see this later. I don't think he'll.
Yeah, he knows. He knows. He'll tell you. Just ask him.
He knows.
Fucking Mark.
He's gonna agree. I had an actual genuine question, but like my mind went blank. I was under so much pressure.
Anna choked. Yeah, she choked.
I choked, guys. I just did what I had to do, and the chat is very happy with it. So you guys are welcome for me. Probably never being invited to any AEW show ever again.
I didn't think about my question for more than 5 seconds. I thought I'm immediately going to do a lip spear.
Joe's a monster. Yeah. I just wanted to figure out how a way to ask my question without getting WrestlePurists shut down. But nevertheless, that was Maxwell Jacob Friedman, folks, and he came and he crashed my little thing I was doing there. So we're gonna move on. The point of what I was getting at, Joe, and Anna, Hayabusa loses. The guy who was supposed to be the next one loses.
You're just picking up where you were.
I'm gonna just pick right the fuck back up. I care that much about this. Yes, I care that much about this. He fucking lost and was embarrassed at Kawasaki Stadium. And Onita got up to check on him in shame. Worth noting also was not only did he get fireballed, they ripped his mask off, Joe. Just clean off, right? And Mr. Pogo was saying on the mic to Onita, like, what are you checking on? Hayabusa's fucking dead. He's fucking dead. Like, accept it. And there's subtitles on the screen as he says this. And Terry Funk gets the mic and he's like, Onita, you are nothing but a cheap imitation of me. You're a chicken. You're yellow, Onita. You're yellow. You're chicken. You're a chicken. And the conventional wrestling brain in my head goes, Onita's going to get back in the ring. He's going to rip his shirt off and clean house and send these fans home happy. And he's out of retirement and he beat up the bad guys. Onita stops himself. He walks towards the ring, stops again, turns around and says, nah, that's not me anymore. That's not my life. This is not what I do. And he walks off as the crowd are like, wow. And Terry's just burying him. And he's like, exactly. Keep fucking walking. And we cut to the backstage area. And Hayabusa, completely unmasked. They're showing the audience his face. It's Eiji Izaki. And he has tears in his eyes. And he's just like apologizing to the media. And he's in tears, and they're playing the sad music and there's subtitles. And he's just like, maybe I just wasn't the guy who's meant to like lead this company. I failed FMW, and I embarrassed Onita. I'm so sorry, and I have to go away. And he's bawling, and I almost start crying. And I'm like, my goodness. I was so moved by this, and I realized that sometimes that's life. Crippling defeat, embarrassment on the big stage, a failure to get the job done, leaving on a note that bleak really just sat with me. I'm like, there was no hope in this angle. Onita he just said, yeah, I am retired. I'm not going to fucking fight you. And Hayabusa got unmasked. And I'm like, holy fucking shit. It was just such a bleak and grim and sad note. And it was very cold and chilling. And I'm just sitting there in awe of the entire situation. And I was just like, man, holy shit. And I just wanted to talk about it because I think everybody should watch it. It's a really, really good match. And again, the music that played in the post-match and the tears and the subtitles, it was all just lovely. And yeah.
I've noticed we're big on depression in our wrestling, aren't we? Have you noticed that? New thing we've
you can't really experience the euphoria of thrilling victory without also having to deal with sometimes crippling defeat.
Yeah.
They come hand in hand, and you have to take both in. It's good stuff.
Good work, Evo. I don't know if that was. I know that was the perfect topic for the masses after we did the Max segment, but I think the fact that you proceeded with it is pretty sick.
Yeah.
It's honest and it's real, you know.
So, like, seriously, do you think he's gonna get new lifts or what?
Yeah,
he's got it, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
I think Max is gonna get beat up personally.
Nah, bro, he's fucking shooter, dude.
Yeah.
Max used to be in the K1. He's a striker.
You know what's funny is a year ago, right? Max would have popped in, and I would have tweeted like, "MJF is here. Join the link." Now he popped in, and I'm like, "You're fucking interrupting me while I'm doing my thing here, you piece of shit."
Yeah, nice fella, though, isn't he?
Not really. You know, Anna, I hope he does say it, thinking he could say it, and then he just gets beat up. That's what I think.
If that's the segment, that's gonna be wild.
I hope
honestly.
for all involved that is not what the segment is on Wednesday. That'd be a very bad idea.
That would be a horrible idea.
You know what, Bobby? I gotta say, Bobby, you are mine. And it's just fucking
Max hitting like the wide eye cell when Bobby fucking goozles him. Oh.
Yeah, right.
Excalibur's
hey, Montel, come on.
Excalibur's cool. That would be crazy. Big fat orange cat, Anna, take it away.
It's Big Fat Orange Cat 499. Greetings, lads. Anna, I would like to hear in-depth thoughts and feelings on the Filipino film Knights of Kabiria. It's one of my favorite films of all time. I know Monty doesn't like when I talk about movies too long, so I'm just going to go through it very fast. So one of my favorite movies of all time, the final scene, I think, is one of the greatest final scenes in cinema's history. Just like the whole movie is just her getting like beat down by life, and it's just hopeless, and then it ends in such like a positive, hopeful note, even after everything, just like the scene of her breaking the fourth wall. Amazing movie. I fully recommend, but you have to be in a good mental state to watch because it can really like break you down a bit. But one of my favorite films. So yes, I cannot do more in depth, but you can go to my letterbox. Thank you so much.
Hell
Thank
yeah.
you for this. I appreciate the movie purist moments. Epic Department 19 $4.99. Just wanted to say last night that WrestlePurists Live was sensational business. Hats off to Joe and Monty.
That's what I do when fucking Ibu gets out of my way, bro. He just puts the ball in my hands, you know? That's what happens. Like, he wasn't there to call the plays. Montel WP, steering the ship. My leader, my fearless leader, the head booker. That's what happens when you put the booker and the head of talent relations with each other. You know? It's magic.
Do you see that? This is just...
I'm office, bro.
Yeah, Joe's office now, and he's turned into a complete stooge, and I don't know how I feel about that. You know,
yeah. I'm a nasty guy.
It's just I can't believe it.
I'm no longer # for the boys.
Exactly. Joe was for the boys. You know, we'd huddle together and find a way to, like, you know, show the obviously what's what when it comes to the show. And now Joe's like, no, I think we do need to tone it down a little bit in there. I just think
No more movie talk.
yeah, I do think we do need to kind of slow down with the dives. Maybe show we could tell a story. Yeah, it's kind of bullshit, Anna. Anna, we should kick him off. I think that's what we should do.
Whoa, come on.
No.
I'm a good guy.
What are you gonna do without him?
I'm gonna launch a 2-man show with MJF.
I think
Gonna invite him back.
I think 3 weeks of an Ibu Anna pod would just degenerate into like no wrestling talk. I think we would just talk about like literally anything else. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, Anna, did you watch SmackDown, Anna? You're like, no. I'm like, sick. I saw Sinners finally,
Okay.
Anna, and I'm like, I thought that.
Dude,
was
Sinners
Oh.
was unbelievable, man.
Did you see it actually?
No, I still have not seen it. I'm going to. My plan is to. No, I can't say that out loud. But I will watch the movie at some point. We'll watch the movie at some point. Yeah, I heard it's good.
It is.
Right, I heard it's
That's
good.
like the most uncool thing I've ever said. Like I heard it's good.
I
After
heard
being,
it's
like the biggest.
it reminds me, Anne, of I remember last year I have a 70-year-old coworker who like discovered Kendrick Lamar mid Kendrick and Drake beef, and he's going up to me and he's like, "They not like us," and I'm like, "Yeah, man," and he's just like, "Boy, that Kendrick, he's good, man." I'm like, "Yes, he is. Yes, he is." But yeah.
So around the same age as you. That's good.
Yeah, roughly. Give me 10 years.
70. Go Birds XTL 499. Glad they are having Rhea wrestle more on TV, but these matches are gonna have a lot of #discourse.
Well, here's the thing about #discourse. You don't have to participate in it. And also, who gives a shit, And I'm so glad Rhea's wrestling again, because like that era where all she did was run out and like say mommy's on top. It was like, yeah, she's over doing that, but it's just awesome to see the tall lady kick ass. And that's what she does now. Now she does this new combo, Joe, where she does like a razor's edge on like people's heads and then follows up with a shining wizard. That's really neat. I like watching Rhea wrestle. She's a good wrestler.
Yeah.
Good wrestler. Dragon Master Adam, £5. Thank you so much. Triple H put you in charge for season 2 of LFG and also Time Machine. Which 5 wrestlers would you have as judges to make the show as crazy as possible? Ooh.
Low key.
Low key. Low key's a great one. That's an amazing show.
Key would be incredible on a show like that. Like he would just violently knock out all the guys.
He would literally be like, "You think you're a wrestler?"
Key,
fucking...
Sabu.
Oh my god.
New Jack.
Yeah, New Jack's a good one. Bob Holly. And Riley's got the 5th man, Honky Tonk Man.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Who's the good cop on that show?
Bob.
Oh my
He's honest.
Inoki. Oh.
Inoki would be incredible, yeah. No, the good cop would be Honky, right? Just tell him what to take it easy.
Yeah, right. Guys, slow it down. They're young.
Come on.
Come on, everyone. Oh, Jesus Christ.
It has to be JBL, but the whole time he has to be doing the racist gimmick.
Oh, no. You don't want that. You really don't want that. Shout out to Cam Raider, man. Going off today.
Cam Raider, yeah. Thank you so much for 99. What do we do to get more effective heels in modern day? It's a problem with curtain pull back and an emphasis on coolness and catchphrases.
I tweeted about this not long ago, and it's not directly related, but I think it would affect it. I think wrestlers should just stop breaking kayfabe.
It's not that.
Yeah.
I know you're gonna think that, Joe, but here's the thing. I think this is the easiest era to work wrestling fans since like the mid '90s.
I agree, but Max did the kayfabe thing and they cheered him. Like it's just.
Yeah, but like.
Dude, it becomes part of the show. Like if you keep kayfabe, people go, "Oh my god, look how well he keeps kayfabe." It's just it needs.
Dom
got
heat for years, like
who did?
Dom.
Yeah, but that's not the best. I mean, yeah, he had a good couple of years of it, but they've ended up turning him babyface. Like still, it's hard, isn't it?
Of course, it's hard, and eventually, I think Dom turned babyface because WWE just ended up creating their own new smarks.
They did. No, they did.
Yeah.
But
they created their own new smarks. I think you have to, as a booker, pay close attention to when you have a sincere crop of wrestling fans that are interacting with the medium in its traditional way, which WWE had in 2022, 23, 24, right? Before they've again, they've turned their own new crop of fans into smarks. But when you have that stretch of new fans coming in and that type of influx, that's where you really just try to make new bad guys. And I get what you're saying, because inevitably it's just, wow, he's so good at his job of being a bad guy. He's so good. I'm going to cheer him, But I do think the wrestlers could help. Like, for example, Becky Lynch was kind of the talk of social media for a little bit. Oh my God, she undercut Bayley. Oh my God, Becky Hogan. Oh my God, all Becky does is bury people, right? And she could have done one of two things. She could have went to the sheets and said, that's not true. I'm actually such a nice, beautiful, incredible person and a great soul. Or she could go on TV and just say, yeah, all that's true. And she's done the latter. And here's the thing. It doesn't make it any less fake. We know that she's just being a character, but that's a better approach than just, hey, Mike Johnson, I'm actually like, can you please just run in there that I'm like nice and I don't go into business for myself. You know what I mean? Like,
No, I agree. If that is actually like the answer, that seems deeply unfortunate from a big picture point of view, Like,
you think so?
The quickest way to get heat is to convince people that you're like politicking, Like, I'm not saying that's what Becky did. What I'm saying is that if that's what the sort of game plan should be, I think you can be a heel. It's a case of like, if you're featured, you're probably going to get a lot of TV time, and I think inevitably the people just kind of get with you. I don't think it's as big an issue as it may feel. I think if we actually looked at the shows, there are more guys than we think that are getting heel responses.
There's still people that get booed.
But it's challenging, definitely, and the psychology is different. We talked about it a lot yesterday. I think Cam Raider would like that show if you didn't see it, because we talked about it for like 50 minutes, maybe, right? Monty and I did. So, like Gunther's getting a lot of heat right now, and I think, I don't want to get back into that, but the reaction to that to me is like baffling. But he's getting good heat, so he should be really happy with that. I don't know why he shook hands with Pat McAfee, though. I can't figure that part out.
I think the people that wrestling fans think are bad people IRL, for one reason or another, or just people that people dislike IRL, they're the ones who should just be heels now.
Yeah, it's just a dangerous game, because then what? Like, why do they think they're bad people? Like, because that's what they did with Tessa.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
No, like, seriously, like, I went to that TNA show, dude. That is a really weird dynamic. Like,
yeah.
There are people chanting at Tessa, she's a racist,
with like a smile,
and there are people around me that are chanting it like, I never want to see this fucking person again. And then there's a dude next to me who's chanting it like popping huge, thinking it's funny. And it's like,
right.
This is it's a really weird thing. So dangerous game, isn't it? Like, yeah, I don't know what the answer is. I think that's a very scary path to take, though. I'll say that. Yeah.
Who was like the last person that you think was like a very, very effective heel that like the crowd never turned in their favor, or had like a very effective heel run?
The crowd never turned.
Yeah.
They kind of turn everyone now. I think.
Yeah.
I think. I don't even think Gunther's having a really good run as a heel. They cheer him sometimes, but generally he's a heel. I think Fletcher's having a really good run right now. Obviously, it's brand new. I think Christian Cage is a good one. I don't remember them cheering Christian Cage, really, to be honest. There's definitely these examples. It's just...
And I'll tell you what, Joe. Listen,
yes,
man. Christian Cage, how did he fucking approach the game, brother? He was on everywhere, man. He did those media interviews, and he's just a horrible little fucking cunt. You know what I mean?
I agree. I do think there's truth to it. I just don't think that's the root. I think that's like a feature rather than the core
cause of the
yeah. And like one of the main things is that you have to put the heel versus a very good face, because like when I think of a very good heel run, I think like Brian with Kofi, and like it's not like the crowd eventually turned on Brian's favor. They turned Brian face again, and like that was that. But like that heel run was very, very effective because they had like a reason why to hate him.
You know what I will say also? I think what's recurring, Anna, and most of the heels that I notice get like great heat is none of them feel like they're like playing bad guy on TV.
I agree. There's a part. I honestly think this is less a like there are no heels and more just the psychology and atmosphere and reaction of wrestling is different now. To be honest, that's my actual gut. The more we've talked about it, I just think like it's less of a heel thing and it's more just crowds respond to wrestling very differently now, man. Like,
yes, they do. Yes, they do.
And I don't want to. I'm not doing it used to be better. I'm saying it's different. It's just
Yeah.
like
They just receive it different.
the way they respond to momentum shifts in the matches. Go back and watch some old wrestling. That is very different now. Like,
yeah, when the babyface gets 2 punches in, it's like, oh my god, he's gonna win. You know, like they react to it the way you would react to like boxing or something. You know,
right? Like, as though it's alive and it can end at any moment. It's
right.
Now
Now you're watching AJ Styles and Finn Balor wrestling. You don't think the match is ending on a headlock takeover in minute 2. You know, you're waiting for them to do their signature stuff, and then as the match. And then there are the government mandated designated moments in a wrestling match where, okay, now this is where we chant, this is awesome because it's gone a long time. And they're on the double down where they're both laying. And this is what we chant at this point of the match because that's what wrestling is. You know, and I'm not saying that's right or wrong. And I don't know why I named AJ and Finn specifically as this, but as an example, like
that's a good example. That match was I don't want to overreact because I didn't watch the rest of the TV and I hear the crowd wasn't good on the whole TV.
It was fine.
The vibe of that is it was alarming to me the way the crowd reacted to them just wrestling, you know.
Yeah, wrestling fans now they don't like because here's the thing. Before it was you react to the momentum shifts in the match.
Yeah.
We got into a phase, Joe, where in the super smarky crowd era, they like these dudes are like fucking like twisting their nipples over like the opening technical exchanges of a match. Right. You know the era where like it's like duck under exchange, you know, hold, and then the guys kind of break away and then everyone claps. You know what I mean? Like they clap for that, and then, you know, you might get "This is wrestling" or whatever the fuck, right? And then they just chant their way through. Now it's just okay. We're gonna be quiet until the signature moves happen, or the interferences happen, or the thing that advances the story. And so it's actually like
do you remember when in Chicago, Steamboat and Flair, they do that spot where Steamboat gets a headlock takeover and the referee Tommy Young does a quick 1-2 and Flair just pops his shoulder up and the crowd gasps like, holy shit, like he nearly pinned him there with a headlock takeover.
Well, yeah, that is.
I wonder if you could do that tomorrow, I wonder.
No, well, it's because that's not a plausible finish in 2025, for better or for worse. And the only way you can reestablish those things as plausible finishes is if you run matches on TV where matches fucking end with things like that. Right. And
that was what was cool when Max and Darby did that thing. Remember the headlock takeover?
Yeah, you gotta remind people, I think, that like matches could end with things like that. And but the other problem is we're so used to the opposite. So if Will Ospreay like next week wrestled Josh Alexander, and he beat him with and he beat him with what's a Will Ospreay transition move? Like what's just a cool if he beat him with
the forearm, right? The AJ forearm.
Right. If he beat him with that, people would be like, really? Like if we just beat him with that in 13 minutes, they'd be like, oh, really? You know, like it wouldn't be like outrage, but it would just be like a headshot, like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know, but
that was why I was glad when he started winning with the Styles Clash for a bit.
Yeah.
You have to take it more seriously now, right?
There was an era when he nobody was losing to the hidden blade, and it drove me nuts because that's the best looking move in wrestling.
I hate that Will prioritizes the set-up blade rather than the out of nowhere one. The out of nowhere hidden blade is like one of the best finishes in all of wrestling. You know, when he just catches the guy running.
One?
Yeah.
It's the best move, I think, in all of wrestling.
And instead, he would always prioritize the one that's like the big setup with. And I was like, it's nowhere near as cool, dude. He's doing like it out of the air. It's so cool.
The front facing one is amazing. Is Monty?
we put him to sleep with our extensive.
Wait, no. I'm jumping. Fuck that. Because you talk and talk. No one said next super chat or nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying? You talk on the same super chat for time. It has nothing to do with the super chat. And then then you just go silent, and it's like after 2 seconds, like, huh, where's Monty? He's like, no, bro. Anyway, back to work.
Oh, I'm crying.
Well, thank you,
Go
Monty.
ahead, Anna.
Emery316, thank you for the $5. If y'all have the ability to do a multi-hour long video essay on an obscure or pretentious topic in wrestling, what would that topic be for y'all?
Do you have one, Anna?
I would like to do something about intergender wrestling, but like yeah, either intergender wrestling or like how they train Joshis, because they get like very very young. So like, you know, Azumi is a 10-year veteran and she's like 22, 23, like that kind of thing, or like 21. So I would like to do something about like the training process of Joshis or
Right.
intergender wrestling. Yeah.
That's interesting. I don't have one personally.
Shikara. Do you guys remember Shikara?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The Quackenbush venue.
Huh?
Yeah.
The Quackenbush vehicle.
Shikara was really good.
But yeah,
I really like Shikara a lot.
I really Shikara. It was the King of Trios.
Yeah.
Is that the name?
Mhm.
Yeah, I during the pandemic I got really into that.
Yeah, nice.
Like I watched like, yeah. So
I
I would
don't-
like to do those.
I don't have one, but I really got kind of inspired by when I would talk to Isra about wrestling. She had a very unique and interesting perspective on all of it, and she would always express certain things to me that I think I really wish she expounded on in some type of project if she like cared enough to do it. Like she would talk to me about, Joe, like the male gaze in pro wrestling and how women perceive wrestling, and how certain things about wrestling appeal more to women. And she would break down like the psychological aspects of it from a presentation standpoint. And it was just really fascinating because I would just shut up sometimes and like let her just say it all to me. And it would just be so fascinating. And like it would go beyond just superficial things like this guy is attractive. It would go like beyond all of that. And I always would be like, you should like write about this. And she'd be like, no, I don't really care. And I'm like, no, you should like write about this, you know. But stuff like that I think is interesting. And I wish I got to see more that kind of thing. Because in general, women's voices in the wrestling sphere are still like the minority. And I just getting unique perspectives like that in projects that are like researched upon and like extensively put together would just be really neat, I think. So I'm just gonna bring up her idea from 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is tough for me to answer because even though I'm specifically working on something that fits this exact description. So there's just stay tuned.
Right.
You'll know in about a month what my answer to this is. Yeah.
Wait till I do my fucking FMW fucking project.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Ish 499. Thank you. Let's push the beef, Ibu. Praise Jack Swagger, and I won't get my shooters on you. Jack Swagger.
Yeah.
Good worker.
I had a potentially violent response to this that would get me banned off YouTube, so I won't say that. But I didn't know we had a beef fish. You know, I thought we were cool. And Jack Swagger wasn't a particularly good wrestler, but he has some matches I kind of like.
I didn't know Jack Swagger had shooters.
Yeah.
Good wrestler, to be fair. He was a good wrestler.
Every day in the Self-Made Discord, I'll talk about what I'm going to watch tonight. Yesterday was the raid, but, you know, I'm like, hey, we're going to watch this, we're going to watch that. And then Ish pops in and he's like, Jack Swagger night, bro. And I'm like, leave me alone, man. Like, just
he was good. Like, he was really good out the gate on ECW. Had some good matches with Christian.
Yeah.
Him and Cesaro were a really good team.
They were the real Americans. You know what's funny, Joe, is at the time, actually, though, I was a Swagger guy. Partially because I just missed Kurt Angle and I just wanted him. I just decided he's going to be Kurt Angle and I wanted it to happen, and didn't really happen. But he wasn't bad. He wasn't bad.
No, he was just bland, wasn't he? You know.
Yeah.
He was a good worker. I mean, the funniest thing he did by far though was when, after like 5 years of employment, his contract expired with AEW and he just yelled about Tony Khan being a communist.
Yeah.
Which is
one of my favorite things about his AEW run was Jim Ross thought he was still like a young prospect with like potential.
He's
and
like
put
it together.
He still, for whatever reason, he just believed that like Hager was going to become a main event dude. You know? You could hear it in his voice. You know?
I remember him having a line that was like, he's going to put it together one day, and when he does, it's going to be scary.
And I'm like, JR, he's 41. You know? Like, he's 41 years old. I was like one of the 7 people that liked his Mox Pandemic match at the time.
That was a long boy. Dude.
Very long. They just wrestled around Daly's places.
He had a good match with Eddie Kingston.
Yeah.
Is it a hard $5? Thank you. It's like a time limit draw or seconds being sent to the back. The TV has to do one every once in a while, so you can still believe in them happening.
Absolutely.
Let me see your
Absolutely.
I agree.
You got to always educate your audience or get them used
Mm-hmm.
to a certain thing that you have to establish a precedent for it. You know, it's a good modern example of this, Joe. Back when WWE's creative was like really, really, really tight. It was late 2022, Joe, and there was like some Judgment Day match where like someone in the match got hurt, and Adam Pearce like got involved, and he was like he wanted to call the match off, and they didn't want it to happen, and like another Judgment Day member slotted in to finish the title defense, and it was established in that match that another member of the stable can just freebird into the match mid-match and continue the match, right? They only did that because on the Raw 30 episode in 2023, there was a match where it was Jimmy and Jay versus Judgment Day or some shit for the tag titles.
Yes.
And Jimmy gets hurt. And then they're all like, oh my God, what's going to happen here? And Sammy goes to Pierce, like who walks out there with the officials. And he's like, I got this. I'm going to fill in. And then he comes in, and the whole thing, the real story beat was just Jay and Sammy getting along. But they established that this was allowed by doing that finish like 3 weeks prior on TV. And like, you do that kind of thing so that it doesn't feel like you just pulled it out of your ass. You know what I mean? Like it's a Deus Ex Machina as a storytelling device. So I like that kind of thing in pro wrestling.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely important that you establish your own norm. So then when you break from that, it's exciting. And yeah, I think that's an underrated element of modern booking. To be honest with you, it's kind of lost, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Sionbergs $4.99. Thank you. To be as non-pretentious as possible, I think my video essay would be how everything is pro wrestling. Everything has some form of kayfabe.
Unfortunately, wrestling lingo has invaded my current life, my daily life, and I'm not proud of it. You know,
Like, what do you mean by everything is pro wrestling?
everything is pro wrestling, Anna.
In which sense?
I mean, we gave you a nice push, you know.
Yeah, this is a fitting super chat for this show because Eva and I just talk about like real life now, like it's wrestling, because we're deeply broken individuals.
Yes.
The only thing is, I would say, Zion, that sounds like a great project. Don't do the like politics is wrestling thing.
No.
When the boys do that, they always end up just being like, it's all a work, guys. We're taking away people's rights, but it's all fun and games. He's just a heel, Don't do that shit.
Yes. No, life is wrestling. The Knicks, people think the Knicks can't work in the ring, but they're over. They're over with the people. And the NBA did a good job of getting Michael Jordan over in the 90s. Just the packaging and the presentation of him. You know what I mean?
It's true, dude. It's real.
Yeah.
And the funny part, NBA media talks like that too. Like Anna, they'll say like they got to push him as the face of the league. They got to do a better job pushing him as the face of the league.
Yes. Right now, there's daily discussions about like why are like the young guys not super over, and it's like it's because we keep putting LeBron in the main event, and it's like we got to change the card order a little bit. Let Anthony Edwards and guys like that get the big primetime slots. So. We'll see.
You know what this remind me of? Do you remember that tweet from you guys remember Put It As a Flow? And he had like that tweet
Yes,
like,
I do.
my grandmother died. The funeral house was packed. She was very over in her community.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
I do remember that, yeah.
So when I say like everything's pressing, that's the kind of thing I imagine. Like,
listen, in middle school, and I had a lot of heat with my teachers. I had a lot of heat with teachers in the office. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of heat. I was in a doghouse, so to speak,
Yeah, my grandmother is over in her community. The funeral house was packed. Yeah, that was the tweet, sorry.
Oh boy. That was an interesting account.
Yeah. Speckles $4.99.
Oh fuck.
Is Shooter here? Don't chat or swagger. Also, everyone watch Let's Friday's TMLL main event, match of the year. Shout out Big Mystico and Sky Team. Oh, match of the year.
I'm out of the loop on CMLL, which is crazy because I was very much locked in.
Fuck! I just dropped my phone. Jesus, whip! My mic just fucking banged my hand. I look like fuck. Keep talking about CMLL.
Right. Well, while Joe figures that out with his hand, I was so locked in on CMLL, and then I I don't know what
Yeah,
happened.
you
but,
were.
I was, and then you know what it was, Anna, is Joe got us in a position where we didn't have to actually like cover wrestling anymore, and then I started watching less of it, you know. So I'm blaming him. Because you remember, Anna, I used to send you links and shit. I'm like, hey, Anna, like watch this
Yeah.
match, you know, we'll talk about it, you know. And
Mhm.
now we just hang
So-
around. And, yeah.
Technically, it's your fault that I don't watch that much anymore as well.
Oh, it's like a trickle down effect. Like it's Joe's fault
Yeah.
that I don't like cover, and then I don't give you links anymore. And so you just walk in and you find out
Yeah.
Gabe Kidd is in like the Death Riders like a day before the fucking podcast.
But guys, I will get more back into wrestling, right? I have very exciting news. I'm graduating next month, so
Oh
I
my
will have
God.
more free time for wrestling.
Oh my God, Anna is graduating. Look at that.
Let's fucking go. Yeah, sorry guys, that was very loud. I assume,
Yeah.
but I
No,
hurt my hand.
don't worry.
I hit
Is everything
I dropped my
okay?
phone. It hit the mic, and then the mic fell on my hand. It was quite a violent motion, to be honest with you. But that's slightly less important than you graduating. So congratulations, Anna. We should do a celebratory worldwide.
Hell yeah! Because
Okay.
next Monday, this is my last week of classes. So next Monday, I already don't have classes anymore. But then I have still like my exams and everything. And from
Yeah.
July, I'm officially a college graduate, university
I
graduate.
think
So
this is my feeling. I think we should hand the format to Anna and let her hand pick matches or topics to cover. This is my feeling.
oh, the show about nothing every week.
Well, no, like say your favorite Joshi match. We do a segment on it, like a full set, or favorite
yeah.
2 or 3 matches. I think we should do that.
Okay. Okay, I mean, I'm gonna be more back into wrestling. I would have more free time, hopefully.
Right. Don't get carried
so-
away because we want to keep the show like this,
No.
where we don't talk about anything.
Yeah. No, I still have a social life, so it's not gonna be too much, But
Did you notice, by the way, how quiet Evu got when I said hand the format to you? Did you notice that?
I don't.
Bro's like looking over his shoulder.
I was like, wait a minute. We have breaking news, folks. Scrap Daddy AP makes it official. Roxanne _ WWE has joined the hashtag WWE Raw roster.
It's a big pickup, bro.
Monday
Big
nights
pickup.
just got better, and the lovely Roxanne Perez is on video signing a contract. Adam Pearce looks very, very happy, and the Prodigy is now on Monday nights. Good for her. And that's a big one, Joe. That makes
Big,
them
dude.
makes them a contender. I think they could challenge for the playoffs now with that women's division.
I just don't think she can guard Alexa, but
you look at that Raw women's side, and I mean, my God, you got Roxanne's like backcourt IQ and like her playmaking ability, her ability to make people better on the floor. You know, there are players that without her being able to set them up, they can't create their own offense. But Roxanne generates offense for people. You know,
I think SmackDown's going to target her, dude.
You think so?
Lex size.
But here's the thing.
They're going to get switches. Charlotte's going to post up.
But Rhea Ripley's makes up for it with her defense in the paint and her ability to set screens and cover for her. I think defensively, that's going to help because, like Luka Doncic, you're right. The defense is going to be an issue. But you got Rhea Ripley in the middle. Becky Lynch is just a floor general on there. You know, they got a great squad.
It's going to be a good series, dude.
I don't know, man. Nia Jax, Candice LeRae.
Nia Jax is an old school big. You know.
Yeah, but what's she gonna do when Rhea Ripley draws her out of the paint? You
know, Nia Jax is a 4 fouls in 10 minutes big. You know,
exactly. Rhea Ripley's gonna be shooting threes. I don't know.
Do we know what happened? Because like they were doing the whole thing that it made it seem like Giulia and Roxanne were gonna tag and they were gonna put like them in that situation, also against EO and etc. And then they just sent Giulia to SmackDown. Like what happened there?
So. What's funny is now WWE's thing that they're telling people because no one reported it, but they were telling people this weekend like, oh no, that was just to get Giulia started. She was always going to SmackDown, and the last 2 weeks, yes, coming out of Mania, like I was pretty certain that Hunter did want to run them as a duo for a little bit, so. Who knows the exact truth? Because WWE's new thing now is going like, you don't know because only we know, and it's like, all right, man. Like it's just like fuck off.
Just staring at a board for 8 hours, just like, what do we do?
Yeah, it's just like, You know what's funny?
Just Bruce Pritchard, just like watching Giulia clips, going, so many options, so many options.
Can you imagine, Joe? It's one of those things like, hey, Hunter, what's up, Brian? And it's like, I need her on Fridays. The DOWG knows what
Bro,
to do with her.
You know, like, I don't know if it was Road Dogg, someone in that Smackdown creative was like, Charlotte, Giulia, and Alexa on the same screen is crazy. You know, one of them was
Yeah.
probably feeling themselves out like, we get them all, if we get them all in the same shot with Aldous in there, just dream match city in it.
You
It's
know,
just like,
Joe, the funniest part about this regime, they love doing stare downs that you know in their mind are like, is like super epic, right? And sometimes it works. Sometimes it works, but sometimes it's just like, is this popping the people? I don't know, but like Anna, they'll literally do these aura like stare downs, right? Like Charlotte's done like 7 of them to like no like reaction in the last couple months. Like
I remember the Jade one.
Yes, every 2 weeks, Anna, Charlotte like walks by Jade and they'll just stop and like they're posing so hard. Like Jade will whip her hair, Charlotte whips her hair, and they're just staring down, and the crowd is kind of like, okay,
like they did. I thought Giulia got like a decent. Because
they
were smart enough to have Aldous go like Giulia, you know, rather than her just standing there.
No, he walked out looking very happy, and he was like, "Giulia is the latest signing on the Smackdown Women's."
It was a nice presentation, and like, as much as it's ridiculous, because who has ever possibly imagined her versus Alexa Bliss? Like, imagine what a terrible matchup, like stylistically, that would be.
Hard.
I do get the logic of like, these are two people that have been on TV a lot. And you immediately associate, like, this is where we're looking at Giulia. Now, I do worry about who she can actually work with on SmackDown.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I don't know. I just stylistically, it's a weird one.
Yeah, because on SmackDown, she has a bunch of people she can pin, but not a lot of people that I think she could have her match with. Whereas on Raw, she can't pin a lot of people, but like I'd rather watch her wrestle Rhea and Io than you know.
I'll say this, dude.
Bianca.
Right.
If I was Mia, I'd be thrilled because like I think they're gonna have to call her number.
Who, Mia Yim? Oh no, yeah. That graphic could drop fucking next week, where it's just like you just hear like, let them know we on the way. Count the heroes every day. The fucking SmackDown thing.
I love Mia. I think she's awesome. I have to be honest, like she's definitely got her stuff's got a lot looser in the over the years, and that's fine. You know, it's what it is. But if you look at that roster, she's like, you're gonna have to call her name because she's a babyface that you can beat. And like, if you look at the other babyfaces, it's like you don't want to do the Alexa match. You don't want to do like the Tiffany match is a big match. You don't do it on TV. It's just a match, right? And like, what other babyfaces are there? Jade, you're not going to do that. Certainly not going to do that match.
Oh boy, you're right. Actually, yeah. Like, fuck, Medium's number's gonna get called. They're probably gonna run that on TV 3 times in the next few months. Like,
it quietly like highlights that Giulia is she's a pretty specific grappler too.
Yeah.
Because I think it's easy to hear this conversation and see it as like, oh, these women aren't good enough to wrestle Giulia, but it's more that she has like a specific stylistic lane to go down.
Yeah, Giulia, even in Japan, she didn't just always hit, you know, like she had very good runs, but also the people in Stardom, especially, they knew how to work with her, right? And when they knew like how to let her do her thing, the matches would be phenomenal. But Giulia was never a wrestler that is like, oh my gosh, she's like the best in-ring wrestler. She's the craziest. Like even in Stardom, when she was at the top of her game, she wasn't even like top 10 best wrestlers in the roster, you know? Like if you actually think about wrestling abilities, I feel like she, like Becky Lynch in a way, you know? She just makes things, she's not the most athletic, she's not the most this, the most that. She makes matches work. But maybe I think she still needs to adapt a little bit because like I said, the people in Japan know how to work her. Even though people that have different styles, you know, but like if she's gonna have a match against BFAB and try to do it in her style, then that's a bit complicated.
I don't know who her partner would be. This is why it'd be good, really, if her and Roxanne was. I think you could absolutely steal like tags though. Like I wouldn't be rushing to book her against Alexa or Charlotte in a singles, but like I think you could get 50-50 in a tag, you know, and like kind of because I think Giulia looks really cool, and I think there's like a star power baked into how cool she comes off, even though I don't think she's actually getting like crazy reactions. And you know, the women we just talked about obviously have a certain TV cachet. So like if it say the match was, let's say they did like Charlotte and Giulia versus Alexa and Tiffany. It's like physically there's a lot of elements there that could be quite clunky, but in a tag, I think you could produce it in a way that kind of obscures that a little bit. So I think there's ways to do it, but it will definitely be interesting. I think you're very well.
I like the
there's a
idea
lot
of
of reason to doubt. Yeah, there's a lot of reason to doubt Road Dogg. But I think you can do it if you put your mind to it. Which, you know,
I do like the idea of that tag. Go ahead, Nana.
Yeah, I was gonna say Giulia. She works the best with people who can, like, just give back what she's giving, or are very good at getting
Yes.
beaten up. You know
That's
what I mean?
what-
And
and
now,
yeah.
I'm thinking like the Smackdown people. I don't see a lot of people who can give back. Maybe Charlotte, maybe Tiffany. Like, I don't know, but like Mia Yim for sure. I think she's a good name
Yeah.
to call. But I don't know how many people in that roster would be able to just take, like to sell it to make her look good. Like in the match that is coming to mind now is like Giulia versus Starlight Kid during the the 5-star Grand Prix that Giulia won, which I think was 2021, 2022, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, 2022.
Mhm.
That match is just Starlight Kid getting beaten up for the whole time, right? But she sells it so well that the match is like phenomenal. And I think the people, they need to learn how to work with Giulia in a way, because Giulia, she does have to adapt, but also I feel like the other wrestlers, they do need to know how to work with her style too. And I don't see who would be a good person to just get, like, maybe Kaylee Ray. I mean, you lock
The
in,
problem
but she's still I don't know.
is like the challenging thing with Giulia in WWE, and this is what was always like the part of it that I thought was going to be an interesting thing to watch, is adjusting her style is just going to be her like kind of reining herself in physically. And I think you've seen that in some of her matches, right? Where her stuff looks like you kind of go, didn't look quite the way you'd want it to look. And I think the challenge with that is if you take that part away, like, then what do you have? I think Giulia, let me be clear, I'm not saying Giulia's bad. What I'm saying is like, I don't know if she has a very sturdy foundation. I think her matches, her best matches, and Anna, you know more than I do, but as you just kind of laid out, her best matches are reliant on a certain physicality, a certain energy, a certain violence, to be honest. And I have no doubt about Giulia wrestling like Bianca Belair or Charlotte Flair or Tiffany Stratton on SummerSlam. What makes Giulia more interesting to me is like, what does it look like when she wrestles against Mia Yim on SmackDown, or against, like, that's the challenge to me. So I think there's ways to do it, and I think a good booker would easily navigate it, but she's on SmackDown. So
exactly. That was always my biggest concern. Like, my biggest concern with her going to WWE was always like, how is she going to adapt her style? Because her style is just her beating people up. And it's like a style that I don't think they will feel comfortable putting on TV. Like I said, the Starlight Kid match, if you watch that, like, it's brutal at times, that's just her style. Like, she's gonna be clunky, but she's gonna beat someone up, and like the hair versus hair against Sam Nakano, like Tom is like, her face is red from how many like slaps and punches Julie's giving her. Like, they cannot do that on WWE programming. So it's that was always my biggest concern, and now it's still a big concern. They haven't answered the question yet.
I thought she navigated it pretty well on NXT. But she also had a better crop to work with there, to be honest with you, than on this show. When she debuted on Raw with Roxanne, that to me was like a sigh of relief at that point, because I'm like, those tag matches are going to be good, and whether it's Natty or Zoe Stark or Rhea Ripley or Io, she can kind of do her hard style with those ladies. That's not really the identity of the women's division on the other show. I actually do think what she will shine with is when she inevitably, Joe, has like a plunder match with Nia. Like, I think that'll be like pretty fucking sick, to be honest.
Here's a question.
What's up?
Do you think she was getting over good in NXT? I don't know. I'm asking genuinely.
I'm going to say this. I think some of the people that like did the whole thing of like, oh my God, it's not working, I think that was a bit overstated, just because like, I actually thought her NXT run, when it comes to presentation and how she came off and like how her matches were going, I actually think like, if you would have told me that's how it would have went back when she first appeared like ringside, I would have taken that and like ran with the money. You know what I mean? And I thought that some of like people's perception of it not working was overstated, just because Stephanie was like 10 out of it. Her shit was going like in a 10 out of 10 rate, if that makes any sense.
I just wonder if, and this is always the challenge when people come over, it's like you're assessing it based on what your expectations were and the way you considered it. And it's like a lot of the audience has never seen her before.
Yeah, but absolutely. And that's very fair to point out. What I'm saying, though, what I'm trying to get at is like, NXT is a very strange show. And the fact that she came out of that unscathed still as like Giulia, you know what I mean? Like, and not like some weird, completely like unrecognizable version of herself, to me was like not a home run, but just like you take that, I think, because it's like she went in there, she won the world title, she was pushed well, she had good matches, like she had I don't think she had a single match in NXT that I would say would be bad, and like there was a decent chance that would have happened, like if you told me going in like she's gonna have a couple bad matches in NXT, I'd be like, yeah, probably. But she had no bad matches, and a couple of them I thought were like very good. Her very last one, I think, is the best women's match in the history of the building it was in. So like her run went like pretty well. She wasn't like over to like that like holy fucking shit degree, and like Stephanie absolutely did outshine her, like undeniably. You know what I mean? And I think she's a more surefire bet to be a straight up like main event star on the main roster. I do think that.
I think that's a different thing to the core point.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's people on this roster, I assess their performance and say they're doing a really good job, but
yeah,
that's a different thing necessarily to getting over. We'll see. Like, and I'm not saying she can't get over. What I'm saying is I didn't watch it closely. A lot of people felt that way. We'll see what happens on the main roster. And like, it's just because again, it's like you are kind of starting from zero, I think. And I think
for sure
it'll be interesting. It'll be really interesting if she doesn't, man. I don't know.
Yeah. I think, like, from what I saw, at least, which was admittedly not a lot, but from what I saw, she wasn't like getting like crazy over. She was growing like very steadily, right? But because she debuted around the same time as Stephanie, like Ibu said, Stephanie just exploded. In comparison, it looked bad, and that's why people are like, no, she's not getting over at all. But she was like a little bit, but maybe just not for the position that they put her in, especially in comparison with Stephanie, which was exploding with everyone. So I still do think it's very fast that they're taking her out of NXT, being honest, even though like she was already champion, she lost, she came back, whatever. I still think I would still like to see her a little bit longer in NXT and having those kind of Thunder matches with the younger girls, like really building her name before going to the main roster, because I felt like that was quite fast, especially to show her in SmackDown. Like, it doesn't make sense to me, but
we'll move on because obviously we've been on this for a bit. But I will say, Sam in the chat just stole exactly what I was about to say. He said she was a better fit for Raw, and to be fair, Roxanne would have been better on SmackDown. I think Roxanne would have had a much easier time adjusting to opponents that are like a Zelina or an Alexa. I think Roxanne could do that in her sleep. I think they'd have good matches. So that to me is a strange choice. But we'll proceed.
I'm actually thinking about that. Roxanne absolutely would have been able to just work with like anybody on the SmackDown roster and like make it
easy,
happen.
Bro.
100%.
Yeah.
Roxanne could take a good match out of Candice LeRae. Like,
well, no, I agree. I actually think she'd have an easy time with that, to be honest with you. Like, and as a heel, she would be able to heel off because the baby faces that are over, the ones that are over.
Yeah.
What else do we have? Here we go. Oh, good super chat.
$84.99 SAR. Joe Hobart. Let me see what SAR is.
That's the ideal super chat.
Saudi Real. Oh, so from Saudi Arabia, you have.
This is established part of LNG law, but this is the ideal super chat, folks. Pay attention. That's good stuff. Good work.
Absolutely.
Joe Hobart.
I agree.
Stuff $199. Why are big websites pushing this cross agenda? Don't ask me. I do not support this.
Why are you doing it, bro? Why are you pushing it, bro?
Listen, man. Enough.
It's kind of crazy, isn't it?
Enough, man. Like, just please, enough.
Absolutely.
When were we ever covering main event pops? Nobody watches main event,
dude. If pre-show pops were what mattered, the Good Brothers would be the tag champs.
Look, man. He's a really good talker. He's a sincerely really good talker.
Yes, I don't have a problem with him. It's just the conversation about him.
And beyond that, I never say this about people in pro wrestling. He showed a knack that he could maybe act a little bit. He's not a very good wrestler at all. Like, he's like, in fact, like actively one of the poorest workers on the main roster. And I know that it's WWE and like the working standard isn't like to that degree, but I watched him wrestle AJ Styles, and that was like, come on, man.
I actually think the role for him is like really obvious, to be honest.
What's up?
I think you do a big lad heel tag team. You put him with a guy that can move and do a lot of the work, and he cuts the promos. That's the easiest. To me, that's like it's right in front of you, Like, because he looks cool, so you can find someone who looks good alongside him, who can do a lot of the heavy lifting in ring. He can cut the promos. Easy.
The people that do the psyop, and it's like he should win Money in the Bank. It's just like, what are you talking about? What do you
put him and if Corbin was still around, that's what I'd have took a swing on. I reckon I'd have given Corbin a shot.
Sure.
Definitely. I said, just come on, let's figure this out, fellas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sian, €2. This cross agenda is #Yuri.
Like it's
It
really
is very
a psyop.
It's scary. It seems like one of those things that like I don't understand that sometimes with wrestling fans, right? They just like kind of work themselves into believing that something is good.
Yeah.
I've never done that.
And what makes it annoying is WWE fans will do this, and then like I'll like just be like, hey, like this, this guy's not that good, and then they get mad at you, and then like it's like and it's like they splash water on their face and realize it. Because Anna, here's a good example. I'll never forget this, Anna. Last year, people wanted Chad Gable to be taken out of the Money in the Bank ladder match for Joe Hendry, and people kept fantasy booking like, oh my god, I hope Henry's on this show. I hope he's on the Rumble. Fast forward now, and he's like an NXT TV regular, and people are like, yeah, he's actually not that good. And it's like, well, no fucking shit.
Dude, I forgot.
When is this going to happen with Jey Uso, please?
I forgot that whole summer of like the Chad Gable debate. I'd forgotten. That feels like a distant memory now. Remember, like, everyone was really frustrated with his usage. It's funny looking back now because, like, this is what it ended up being.
Well, what's even funnier, Joe, is he's actively pushed harder now, but it's in a gimmick that like a lot of people are not happy. Because like Joe, like he like Grande hasn't lost, like he's
right,
like,
but it's like
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, it's just like it's the thing where they feature it because they think it's like marketable and cute, but it's a prelim gimmick in it, like
it's actually very Vince because it's
It is very Vince.
Because
in fairness, it is very old school pro wrestling in general, isn't it? Really,
but what I mean is like it's like, hey, can you do this thing for us? And if you do it, you'll get a lot more TV time and you'll win a lot more matches. And it's like, well, I'd rather just be Chad Gable, the pro wrestler, but yeah, I'll do that. And then he does it, and then now he's like he's all over the TV now. It's Grande, and he wins. He's never lost and stuff. But it's in a gimmick that obviously, like, that'll never main event a pay-per-view for the world title. You know what I mean?
How are the Creeds doing?
No, the actual answer is they got taken off TV for a month after the Rey Mysterio injury, and they got brought back to work War Machine, and they had a match that I would say was objectively well worked, but I personally didn't care. But it was well worked.
I was honestly asking.
Yeah. They got taken off TV after the injury, and they just came back last week for a tag match.
Gunther versus Logan Paul.
When?
Someone just said in the chat.
When?
Do they hate?
No, I
babyface or something.
I doubt it. Guys, learn how to interpret pro wrestling, please. What they're probably doing. No, people don't. Joe, I had a conversation with AO about this where I'm like, people don't know how to like interpret pro wrestling. And what I mean is, I'm not even watching, and I could tell you what they're doing is we have to pretend Logan may beat Jay at Saturday night's main event because Gunther has the next title shot. You know what I mean? He has the next title shot on June 9th, I believe it is. And so you can't treat it like a formality. So you have to kind of tease, well, if it's you, I'm going to da-da-da-da-da. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But people, they just see two people face each other and like, oh, shit, I guess that's the match tonight. And it's like, guys, Paul Levesque has like 7 play calls. How do you not like know them? You know what I mean? Like, how do you not know them?
It was only a thing in the live chat, to be fair.
All right, well, guys, be Triple H is it's not the Da Vinci Code, you know what I mean? Like he has like 7 plays he runs, like
imagine it was.
Yeah, right? Like,
just watch him roar, just like, oh, that guy, what's happening?
Yes. Oh my god, they're doing it's like no, it's Gunther's talking shit to it's literally just like, it's like what's the word you use? It's like dotting your I's and crossing your T's. You have to pretend that Logan may win the match on Saturday. Yeah. So if he is, Gunther's gonna say
don't worry about it, mate. It's gonna be all right. Don't worry.
just like putting his hands on my shoulder, like it's okay.
Don't worry, man. It was like one person in the chat. Just take it easy, right, mate?
I'm like, shut the fuck up! It's not fucking happening! God damn it! Fucking lashing out. Could you, man? We fast forward to next Monday, and Logan's the world champion.
Guys, this card for Saturday main event. How the hell are you gonna put the 2 world title matches, right? John Cena versus R-Truth and Jey Uso versus Logan Paul. How the fuck are those your world title matches?
Anna, you know it's gonna be
How the
better.
fuck did we get here?
Anna, you're gonna log in. You're gonna log on Twitter. What is it? Sunday morning, and you know what you're gonna see on your timeline, Anna? Yo, y'all were hating, but that Logan Paul Jay match cooked.
It was an underrated worldwide moment there in which Evie wondered what day would be following Saturday night's main event, which was spectacular audio, I have to say.
In my defense, I was thinking more of Anna's time. You know what I mean? Like,
I tell you what, that's fair. Because
Yeah.
I thought you would, because I do the thing every pay-per-view where I don't know what day the papers are anymore. So that was what I thought you did, but yeah.
no,
that's fair.
I was like, what time would it be when
Good
like
job,
the
bro.
show is over and she's waking
My
up?
bad, Ebro.
Yeah, I'm not that dumb. You know, only a
My
little.
bad.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, Amari, we have a super chat here. Go for it, yeah.
Amari, yeah. $316, $2. Thank you so much. Hey, the WP WrestlePurists, rank all the bad wrestling chants. Lol. Is
Both
that
these
some
guys.
last week lore that I lost?
This
Both
is
these
wrestling.
Guys, this is wrestling is ass. Both these guys is
We
terrible.
won tables.
That's not
Oh.
great. Please don't
Oh.
die. It's kind of cheesy. Meat is garbage. Meat is
Oh.
terrible.
Meat.
In that era where PWG chanted "suck my dick" for Adam Cole was really bad.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
that was terrible.
We're not worthy is a terrible one.
We're not-
If you chant that now, especially when you pay like $2,000 to get in the building, you're definitely fucking worthy. Trust me. It's just lads in their underwear scrapping. You could definitely worthy.
You know what's a chant cadence I don't love that really became a thing in the late 2010s?
So
This day, the double beat clap. So just anything that's just like Jay White, Jay White, Jay White.
Okay.
I don't like this chant.
do people chant that?
I mean, they did, but like just that cadence in general, bro. Where it's just like that chanting cadence. I don't like, and people have done it because they're too lazy now to do the da na na na. Wrestling fans are too fucking fat to like exert themselves
Jesus
with that level of clapping, and so now they've shortened it to a 2-beat fucking chant.
I hate what chants so much. I'm so
garbage.
sorry to Stone Cold Steve Austin, but that's like one of the worst things someone has ever put on earth. Like that is one of the most. It's so bad. And the fact that people do it, especially like to foreign wrestlers, when they do it to foreign wrestlers, for me, is like one of the most disgusting things. Like someone is trying to speak a second language. You only speak one language. Like let's be so fucking for real.
It's terrible.
You know what I mean? It's so
bullshit. Yeah.
It's the worst thing.
I hated Too Sweet Whoop Whoop. That was hell.
They still do that too. They still do that.
Oh,
Too Sweet
when
Whoop
they did
Whoop was
CM
hell.
Punk chants at every segment, like when CM Punk was still like off, he wasn't back, and they used to do like CM Punk chants at every fucking segment for some reason. That was so annoying.
Yeah. There's a wrestler that sometimes people chant "Too Sweet Whoop Whoop" when they wrestle, and they ask me why they chant "Whoop Whoop." I had to have a very uncomfortable explanation.
So this doesn't exist anymore. There was an era where the divas would wrestle, and in front of Smarky Towns, they would just chant the names of their boyfriends. That was really bad.
Oh, that shit's fucking.
You remember?
awful,
You remember that, right?
Yeah. Oh,
Daniel
Jesus.
Bryan.
Any chant that's like,
yeah, I remember that.
I
John
know who
Cena.
you're. Any chant that basically comes out like, I know stuff about your personal life is just like, fuck, grow up, bro. They post on Instagram. Ain't like you broke any news. You know?
Joe, do you
The
remember
Wheeler's got a gun.
Joe, do you remember? Joe and Anna, do you guys remember what the early Smark chant was against Bray Wyatt?
Husky Harris.
Yeah, it's like, okay, you're cool, buddy. You know what I mean? Like,
I was at a house show in 2016, and the people were trying to infest us at Gallows, and I was like,
oh my god.
like,
I
Just-
don't know yet where I stand with the daddy cool cadence chants. Where it's like, you know, Cody Rhodes. I don't know how I
Yeah.
feel about it. I don't know how I feel about it.
Not my favorite.
Okay.
At least they're chanting for the wrestlers.
Jacoby Donnelly, $2. Who has more soldiers, Cross or Ego? Cross. I never seen an Ego soldier. I'm sorry.
He's
Thank
going on
God.
me.
Right,
He's going on me.
Ryan Ciccini, 279 Canadian. Think Wagner knew about AAA and WWE when he signed. Oh, Wagner Jr.
Probably not. Or maybe he
Those
did. Maybe because he did negotiate with WWE before choosing not to go there. Maybe they told him, "Hey, buddy, well, you know, I don't fucking know. I don't know, man. I'm not going to pretend to know."
Yeah.
I was
Cousin
literally just about to, I was about to
Marcus.
give a pretend opinion. And I was like, "What am I doing?" You know,
$2.
It's
We
my
need
fucking lie.
to just cancel Money in the Bank for a few years.
Joe said this
We
last
just need
week.
to make the Money in the Bank matches like be good again. I feel like that's
Yeah. Get rid of them. Ban them.
too.
Get rid of them. Erase the briefcase from the warehouse. Move on.
Like,
20 years,
or bring
man.
it back to WrestleMania. Like, I don't know.
Joe said,
Like a
Yeah,
whole pay-per-view is not
20
necessary.
years.
Yeah. Is the Barry
Gotta-
94 $2? Joe, how was your time at Fightful?
This is a Feinstein shoe interview now.
I was going to say, what's going on here?
It was good. I got a lot of experience, and I like Sean a lot.
I'm a big fan of Sean Ross Sapp as well. He's a good guy.
Sean was always good to me. Like,
Yeah,
what was there?
absolutely.
Ebu Mania 14, 199. Hey Max, well, that's long gone now. WWE is about to steal the glamour.
Yeah, I do have to apologize to Max. I've been in contact
Same.
with sources close to the situation in the last hour,
Mm-hmm.
and they've confirmed to me he's actually 6'4". It's just an angle thing on TV. So I want to apologize because I was someone that I do shows with that's on here right now told me he was a short guy. I shouldn't have trusted him. He's 40 source, you know, but like I thought he knew the guy in question. So I want to apologize for that. But tune into AEW Dynamite Live, 8 p.m. in the East, and yeah, TBS and on Max too, HBO Max soon.
Hashtag ad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a tweet that just popped up on my screen from
So-
SE Scoops. Logan Paul can and should beat Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight title this weekend at hashtag Saturday Night's Main Event. Do you want to know how much
Our
engagement this
world.
post got?
Oh my god.
2 likes and 3 retweets.
Eva, you blew your high
Amazing.
spot, bro.
Did I?
I was gonna
Yeah.
say like
You
there
literally-
should not exist a world that
Oh
Logan
wait,
Paul's a world.
did Raw already fuck up my high spot?
Yeah, you
No.
Yeah.
took too long, bro. The crowd's already left. Fuck.
Yeah, I was gonna tell you guys earlier that Tyrese Halliburton had an interview on the show, but apparently they already said it on Raw. So there you go. Tyrese Halliburton is
No.
on in an interview.
From which team is he from?
He's from the Indiana Pacers. They're playing the Knicks next round.
Okay, I was gonna ask, did they lose? Did they win?
You know, they're playing. They're gonna start their series with the Knicks on Wednesday. So he's on.
Is it it's conference final?
yes.
Or is it
When the winning
I
team
know
out of the.
basketball.
Look at you! I'm so proud of you, Anna. So proud of you. I'm gonna get you a Knicks jersey. If we win the
I mean, if you get it for me, I'm wearing it.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. And if the Knicks win the championship, you have to wear it on Worldwide.
If
What's going on here? Oh my! Danny on
I
Twitter-
would.
Danny on Twitter said in reference to Knicks Pacers in the college finals, he tweeted a couple days ago. The worst part of this will be WWE and Triple H taking credit for this conference finals, and he quoted it now and said they just did on Raw. Oh my god! I know commentary was so bad for that. Just Michael Cole being like, "Folks, the WWE." Like,
Do you think they said something like, you know, we just like in the NBA, we tell stories around these parts, you know, something like that.
Oh my god.
definitely some horse shit, you know.
Yeah.
What's gonna be even funnier is when like McAfee like asks him questions in very theatrical ways, just like, "Hey Tyrese, are you ready to lay the smackdown on the Knicks?" And he's just kind of like, "Yeah, man."
Ask him like, yeah, that'd be interesting. I'm not gonna do that actually. Yeah, good for Tyrese. He's a fan, right?
Get that back.
He's actually a huge fan of wrestling.
Yeah, cool man. It's
He-
cool.
Oh yeah. Hey, is that the last super chat? Do we have one more, Monty? Oh, one more. Will Chisholm, $2. Bianca versus Giulia would be heat. That eventually, when that happens, I think that was going to be a very good match.
I think
So that was all the super chat.
That match is going to be good because Bianca, more than people realize, embraces physicality.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she likes
her segments with Rhea in the triple threat. They were just like clobbering each other.
They were just like whacking each other in the face. That was sick. Yeah, She broke fingers fucking doing that match. So I respect to her, and respect to you guys because you absolutely carried me. I'm very tired, but I did enjoy this podcast. I thought we had a jerky 3.5, Joe. You know, thing.
Flat free.
You know, we'll take the cage match and see where the people lie.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a good night. I've already got a DM like implying that I picked on Maxwell Jacob Friedman, which was unfortunate. So. Yeah, I did. That's actually what I was doing when I dropped my phone violently. I think it appears that some people think I like shot on him tonight. Like, yeah, I don't know, man.
So I saw someone tweet, "Oh, it's always a good night when Max is shitting on Ibu." Yeah, man. You know. Reminder of what I said about modern wrestling fans and being worried. But anyway, Anna, thank you.
People complaining about our questions as well, guys. I'm sorry, I choked. I tried my best.
What do you guys want from us? A fucking interview? Like, who am I, Barbara?
Like, I didn't know what he put us on the spot. Like, what I have not watched Dynamite in months.
Listen, folks. Apologies for breaking kayfabe on a show. We talked about that for 45 minutes, but Maxwell Jacob Friedman did not come on this show expecting us to ask him sincere questions about his upcoming Dynamite segment. I don't know any way to put it to you. That wasn't the idea.
We shot a fucking angle, man. Like, what do you want from me? Oh, fuck. And he specifically
Someone's asking you, "But what's the Raw scoop?"
It's on the show.
Tyrese Halliburton gets an interview from
Amazing scoop.
Absolutely. I'm so glad we're ending this show after Logan Paul spoke, so I could just pop in and watch AJ Styles wrestle. That's really great timing. I think we did a good job there, guys. So this was not the Raw review. That's tomorrow. This was WrestlePurists Worldwide. Love you guys. Appreciate you. Like the video on the way out, and subscribe if you're not subscribed to WrestlePurists. Leave a comment. Yeah, please be nice. Don't hurt my feelings too much. I know I'm not in great form these days, but I do appreciate you guys, Joe and Anna, for finding a way to work around that. And I had fun. So for Anna, for Joe, I'm Ibu, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.